Hello, everybody, and thank you so much, Lyric Lost, for sending that to me today. Literally, I just saw it, got it like maybe 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. I was like, I gotta get this on here. I gotta get it on there.
That's pretty great.
Oh, I heard it and I was like tearing, and I was like, am I tearing because it's awesome, or am I tearing because I'm laughing, or am I tearing because it's so heartfelt, or you didn't hear the song? No, no.
Did anyone else hear the
I
song?
wonder if it didn't play. I wonder if it didn't play. Oh, because
It
I had
played
it
through
on. I had
Zoom.
it on. I had it on. Yeah, I had. Well, here. We'll just. Because nothing can go.
Just do it
I
again.
just did it. Like, here. We're just gonna do this. Just gonna do this. We're gonna do it this way. Man, that would have been so cool.
It's time to start the podcast. It's time to play some games. It's time to have some fun here on the Epic Show tonight.
We'll see some off the pod here, enjoy some great alerts. We'll have a grand old time here watching Epic Realms tonight. We love it when we come here, we clip all of the screens. The chat gets kind of trolly on Epic Realms scenes. But that's an awesome part of the Epic family. So let's enjoy the show now and start another hype train. We'll see the spicy chips fly on the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, epicational. This is what we call the Epic Show.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. That is awesome. Thank you again, Lyric.
Turn it up.
We do not get-
Turn it up. Yeah. Turn it up. Yeah. Turn it up. Yeah.
We do not get trolley. Wait, what?
Yep. Wait, what? Wait, what? Thank you to Lyric Lost again for making that song. I may or may not have been bugging her for like the last years. Like, when am I going to get a lyric song? I want a lyric song. And I was expecting like a little 5-minute thing. I was not expecting that at all. I was expecting like a little sound alert thing that was a little silly. Nope. Lyric went all out with all of the things, and it was, dare I say, epic. I swear there's nothing Lyric can't do. If you ever check the Discord, Lyric's like, yeah, I baked these and I baked that and I cooked this and I have an amazing garden. I have all these flowers and I do all of these things and everything I touch turns to gold. And I'm over here like, I've got like 3 flowers in my garden that are blooming right now. And she's like, oh, well, it's December and it's snowing where you live, but hey, you should check out all of these flowers I have in my yard. I'm like, where do you live? Africa? No. Would it make you feel better to see your weeds? You know, I have a feeling that we're going to see your weeds, and your weeds are like, man, they're going to be like in rows of weeds, and the sunflowers will be like perfectly, or the dandelions will be like perfectly placed, and
They're weeds, but they're like native wildflowers that
Right.
blow away anything in my garden.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody, welcome into Off the Pod. It's not a podcast. It's sort of a podcast, but not a podcast. Maybe one day it'll be a podcast, but that's the intro, and that's what we're going to say. Podcast, not podcast. Show. My guest today is the one and only Matt, aka Xine121, right here in Twitch. You guys know him from in the chat. You also know him from all of the tabletop role-playing stuff we do here. Stolen Souls, Old School 3, little one-offs, Sandpoint game, etc. The Gamemasters Workshop Special Edition show that we did of the Gamemasters of Epic Realms. So, and of course, one of my best friends in the world ever, top of the list. I can't say first because my wife is his best friend. Apparently, I found this out at our wedding. So apparently,
It's true.
it's not the thing anymore.
So you see that guy shows up and swings at you, and it scrapes across your armor as you cast your spell.
Cool. Mithril breastplate, bitch.
What timing?
It's true.
What timing? I love that. So I made that I made that clip for TikTok. So I was like, I want a clip of thing, and I was like, I'm gonna try my hand at editing where you get to see this person's face and then that person's face and then this person's face and that person's face. And it was a whole thing. It was an ordeal and kind of a pain. But I was like, I got it done. I was like, I really like this turn. And there was some other stuff in there that I cut out, like little sounds. Like I think there was a thing where Brian like swallowed or laughed or choked on his, soda or whatever. There were other sounds in there, and I was able to cut it a little bit. And it turned into that, and I liked it so much. I'm like, this has to be a fucking alert. This has got to be alert. So thank you, Lyric, for that. By the way, also everybody, I am not the only one with haunted ghost pepper chips today. Should there be a hype train? Should there be a hype train?
Fresh
It's a 2
bag.
for 1. Fresh bag. Which means you're gonna get the not so spicy ones, because you get all the dust settles to the bottom, and you get all the nice ones at the top. And
Well, and I knew that it might be rough having the hot chips. So I got the big container of Tums to maybe help. Because,
because you
being
never
old
knew.
people might be needed.
Right? So today we've got a series of topics to talk about. We're going to talk about some upcoming video games, and maybe video games that are like out technically but not, or expansions for games. Just kind of that's kind of the theme. We're going to talk some. Would you imagine? Matt, do you know anything about tabletop role playing? Because I guess on our
One or
docket-
two, I dabbled a little bit
Yeah, I think
on one of
we're-
those college experiments.
I was told we might be talking a little bit about tabletop role playing, which I'm sure is going to surprise the hell out of everyone, because that's not a
Well, it
topic.
was
we
either
talk
that or
about.
wrestling.
It was either that or wrestling. It was. We could have talked about wrestling, but I don't know how up to date you are on like non-WWE stuff. So I was like, well, maybe we don't.
Yeah, very little bit. Just still sucked in with Bloodline storyline,
Right?
just keeps you going back.
That's yeah. Who knows what's going to happen? I keep hoping they're going to bring other people into that story, because it's like just having 4 people. Like bring a couple other people in, but just 4. It's
Lots
like
of
they're like,
family
this is
members.
the Civil War. I'm like, Civil War? That's 4 people.
It's 2-on-2.
Yeah, it's 2-on-2. What's the Civil
I mean,
War?
Kishi has like 6 other kids, though. They can just bring them all in.
Well, that's what we're
really
saying.
spice
Like
things up.
they have options. Bring in the Rock's daughter. Bring in Tamina. Bring in Naomi. Bring in bring in Nia Jax. They bring in the Usos' other brother that's wrestling for NLW. I'm sure they'll
Yep.
let him show up.
Well,
Bring
and
in
they have the other
there's
one that's
another
training
one-
with Booker T.
Yeah, there's another one training with Booker T. I think there is
Mhm.
one in NXT that's training as well, or doing
Yes.
stuff in NXT.
Yep, that I think just started, or he just started like, last 2-3 weeks, I
Mhm.
believe.
I mean, I know it's not
Oh, yeah.
directly, but bring in the Guerrillas of Destiny. Their contracts just came up in New Japan, and those are Haku's kids.
Oh, yeah.
And they're
um,
fucking awesome. I love them.
So Haku is about to have a 3rd-generation wrestler. His grandson has started showing an interest in wrestling. His grandson is 13 and 6'4", like 250. Yeah.
That's why Shaquille O'Neal look
He is gonna be a monster.
monster. Holy cow! Hello, Emmy Kiko. Everybody, welcome in Emmy Kiko, our new moderator.
Hello, Mod.
We did some PUBG earlier today, and some of those games were rough. It was myself and Emmy Kiko and the Mithrax. Speaking of video games, should we start talking video games?
We should, but I have a question with the video game you were playing earlier today.
Oh yeah.
How did it feel to let your team down?
I only let the team down 90% of the time.
That's an
nothing
improvement
new,
then.
But that's
That's a
nothing
win.
new. That's nothing new. Although I did kill some players in the end of one.
Did you go full frying pan?
I did not. I
Oh.
snuck up and peeked over the thing, and they were closing in on our other partner, and I shot one and he shot the other, and then we won. Sadly, I did
Nice.
not get to Emmy on time, so technically I guess I still let Emmy down.
Mm.
It was like I could run up and save Emmy, or attempt to save Emmy, and he hears me and kills us both anyhow, or I wait. So I was like slowly sneaking, hoping that he didn't finish her off.
Oh, it's a shame.
I know. But that being said, what is your You got us a win from using the drone and calling out where all the players were. That's true. They've got this new thing where you can, they have these tactical items, and they had to take up a gun slot. Well, they've made a separate slot, and you can pick one at the very beginning of the match, and they kind of changed them up. So, like, I've been really enjoying the drone, and you just take the drone, fly it straight up, and look around and be like, this guy over there, this guy over there, this guy over there, this guy over there.
That's pretty
but
slick.
when you're doing that, you can't see what you're doing. So if somebody comes up and kills you, or if
You're gone.
get distracted, then blue comes and you're like, no, I gotta run and I'm gonna die. So they're constantly, when they know I'm using the drone, they're like, blue's coming in, you need to get moving. It's like, oh shit, thanks for letting me know. So
Well, that's good.
yeah, maybe I'll have to do some more PUBG streams. We'll see. We shall see. What is a game out of all the games that are coming out? What is a game that the game that you're looking forward to most? The video game.
For not out, so not like DLC or just like
Whatever.
brand new.
Whatever.
Um,
Both. We can say
both. So I think my top one, just because like I've played through it like 3 times now, Phantom Liberty, the DLC for Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
It is going to be a completely new game. They're redoing all the cyberware, all of the talents. They're doing car combat, so you can drive around and more easily pull your gun out and shoot people. If you're on the motorcycles, you can pull out melee weapons
Oh,
and
nice.
kill other people on your vehicle with your sword or your phallus staff or whatever you're using. And yeah, it's gonna be, I think it comes out in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
It's a 70 gig DLC that
Jesus criminy.
is gonna completely change the whole fundamentals of the game. And then even people that like aren't able to buy it right away, those of you that have Cyberpunk already, you're going to get a huge patch that's going to give you all of the changes, just none of the new
Content.
adventures.
Okay.
So you'll have all the new combat methods, all the new cyberware.
Yeah, because they can't like
and-
change some of the game and not all of the game. They have to change the whole damn game.
Yep. And the other thing they're doing, for those of you that have watched the Cyberpunk anime on Netflix,
There's a
or those of you
Cyberpunk
that
anime on
haven't,
Netflix?
you have to watch it. So you know how there's cyber psychos
Yeah.
in the game. So the anime deals with cyber psychosis.
Okay.
Partly. Well, the game now, if you low level, but you find a way to like cheat the game and get a bunch of money and you cyberware yourself up beyond what you should, your character in the game will start having cyber psychosis.
Ooh.
And they haven't released a bunch of what it's going to be, but some of the talk has been, oh, yep, you might see bad guys. So you open fire on them. Oh, they're just civilians. Because your cyber psychosis is like tweaking with your eye mods.
Oh,
And
man.
so you really have to balance how much cyber you're putting in
Yeah.
with your end goals. So like I said, it's a complete game overhaul.
Wow.
So like that one's going to be amazing. And then one that's still farther out. I think the big one for me is going to be Starfield, which is the space drama by Skyrim or by Bethesda. And they're saying it's going to be replay value like Skyrim. I mean, shit, that game's been out 12, 14 years now. I think I might have somewhere in the realms of maybe 4,000 hours in the game through various versions, because you can do so much, so many races, so many combos. I mean, eventually everyone becomes a rogue with a bow, but
if they don't start that way.
If they don't start that way. But yeah, it looks amazing. Like, I think this summer there's probably at least 7 games coming out in the next 90 days that I'm like, crap, I want to buy this one. I want to buy this one. I just have to buy a new hard drive first, because
You need a place to store the games, yeah.
Yeah, like these games are not small. Like, talking about a game dropping a DLC that's 70 gigs.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Lyric says her hobby is the same with Skyrim, plus modding, plus breaking and modding again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I think
Oh,
I
yeah.
played through it about 3 or 4 times on the PlayStation, and then they added mods to the PlayStation. So yeah.
Yeah.
No, Blind GM, we're just talking about upcoming video games, but we're talking about, what is it called? Not Skyrim.
Starfield.
Starfield, which is kind of like a space Skyrim, I guess.
Yeah, it's a space Skyrim basically. The whole premise of the game is there was a galactic interwar or a galactic civil war, and I think it was like between like 5 and 10 years ago in game time. I don't remember, but during that time they found these artifacts that let you know how life was created in the galaxy, and your whole kind of like the main overarching story is trying to find out where civilization was created. And I'm assuming that finding how civilization is created is going to be Starfield's version of the Dragon words from Skyrim. Because, as you find how, oh, this is how fire was made, I bet you'll
Right.
snap your fingers and make some fire, But it's going to have ships and like melee combat and lasers and machine guns. And
My only
so it's kind of
concern is
taking
that
the
it's
whole
Bethesda,
everything.
and it's like you're gonna get in there and the game's just not even gonna be done, and they're just gonna be like, yeah, well, we just figured you guys would fix it all and create mods to fix all of our glitches.
So, like,
you want to argue that,
Yeah.
but you can't.
No. I don't want to argue it. I want to say I feel, especially with a Bethesda game, because that's how it's been for ever since the first Elder Scrolls game. That's part of the like getting down on the ground level to go, oh, well, this is broken. Well, let's see how many cabbages I can make it rain out of the sky and bury a town. like I feel like that's part of the Bethesda game is just
the Bethesda experience.
it's the
Jeff.
Bethesda experience. Exactly. Like, you're going to have some weird things where like you glitch through, you walk by a table and the table explodes in fruit.
Right.
I mean,
Which
even
is why
after
Fallout
14 years,
76
that
was
still
such
happens.
a nightmare when it first came out, because they're just like, they didn't think that they actually have to do some work.
Yeah. It I mean, it's fun though to kind of see what the weirdness is, but their storytelling, I do have to say, like, Bethesda's storytelling is so crisp.
Yeah.
But if this game's like Skyrim and you can decide, screw this, I don't want to play the main story. I just want to fly around in my spaceship and mine ore and make stuff.
Right.
You can play 1,000 hours being a space miner without touching the main quest.
Right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
I can't.
that's cool
yeah.
to me. That's
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of games that are coming out like that. And like, I'm not a big space game person. Like, I don't want to play games where you're in space.
Mhm.
Even like Blind GM says, Star Wars Outlaws is what I'm looking forward to. Like, even something spacey like Star Wars, I'm like, just give me a good medieval fantasy. I'll take it.
And I am 95% of the way with you. For me, cyberpunk kind of changed my
Changed your
genre a
mind.
little bit, just because of how well, like, and talk about game with super glitches. I
Right.
mean, my first playthroughs, I'm like, I walk up to my car and it pulls up next to me, and then it disappears and the wheels are laying on the ground. I'm like, what the hell happened? Like, am I under attack? Like, nobody's dead, thank God, because the police would own me. Like, but yeah, like, some glitches can go really weird, but bringing you into that genre, I think, was a fun way for me, because like normally it's medieval fantasy, but I could pull out a sword.
Right.
I could,
Yeah.
and so I could do that. But then with the second playthrough, I'm like, wait a minute, I can be a sniper and I can hack. Oh, this is really fun. And then like third build, I'm just gonna go weird all the cyber augmentations I can. So like I'm hoping that this Starfield will have kind of a nice change. Just to have like, what can you do? Can you play like a medieval fantasy? Probably.
Yeah.
But what little things will you want to kind of tweak
Yeah.
or see to kind of, dip your toes in a space genre? Because yeah, I'm very hard time with the space.
Are there any
genres,
games
even
that
the
you're,
Star Wars game?
Are there any games that are like coming out that you're pissed off at?
That's yes.
Or that are coming out? Because
Coming out.
for me, it's the pirate one. It's the skull and oh, I can't remember the name of it now.
Was it the monkey? No.
Skull and Bones.
Yeah, the one that has been now delayed 2 years or 3
It's-
years, or
It's been delayed
Was it
since
now?
2018.
oh,
They
so
were
you're on
supposed to
par
come
with-
out in 2018. They're like, we're going to push it back to 2019. And now it's 2023, and they just announced again that they're pushing it back. It's like, dear God. And that's the people that made Assassin's Creed.
Mhm.
It's
They
supposed to
have a
be a
new
spin-off from
Assassin's.
Black Sails. They wanted to take Black Sails and make it a piratey thing that's just that the piratey portion of that game and kind of expand on that concept. And dear God, it looked great, but yeah, it's like, come on, just release the goddamn, like, it was supposed to be done in 2018. It was supposed to be the pinnacle of graphics and game design for its era.
Mhm.
Now it's 2018 graphics and game design.
So it was like top end PlayStation 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for me, and same thing. I've been waiting on this game. It's Ashes of Creation. Me and some other people helped kickstart it to the tune of like $3.8 million in 2015, and it was supposed to be out in 2018. Now it's looking like it's going to be out in 2025. And not only did I back this game, but my wife and we went to the second highest tier that you could back this game. We're founders. Our names are going to be in the credits for people, and I still don't even have my Alpha 2 access yet because it's not even that far into it. But what really kills me about this game, like the concept is really great.
Yeah.
The idea is your world is dying and the gods appear. Like picture, and it's not using like Norse mythology, but we'll just use that. Odin comes down and he's like, hey, your world's dying. We've made a new world. Everybody walk through this portal.
Right.
And on game day launch, everybody walks through this portal. There are no towns. There are no nothing. And the first players are literally going out exploring, killing monsters, finding, oh, here's a clearing in the trees next to a river. I want to build a town here. And then you and friends can build a town. No two worlds are alike.
Right.
Like it's that concept is super cool. And I honestly don't know if or when it's ever going to come out. And then the other kicker is every month since 2018, so for the last 5 years, they release a $20 to $50 cosmetic pack for the game that's still not out. So there's people that have been dropping $20 for the last
You
5
should email
years.
them and be like, hey, I just want to know, when the game comes out, can I gift this to my grandchildren after I've died? Like, can
Well,
they
you
use
can't-
my thing? Or
Yeah, oh, it's gonna be, yeah, like I'm to the point now where, like, God, it will be like a 10-year investment at this point. I get like a year free sub for it. I'm like, do I want to? Is it even worth it?
right,
I mean, I guess I've dropped $150, so I'm gonna play it.
right.
But is it gonna be like my go-to game? Probably not. At this year, I'm like, it's a $15 a year loss. Like that's all I can think about it.
Adam says he found a game a while back called Greedfall, which is kind of like Dragon Age meets a pirate setting. Aren't there 2 Greedfalls? I think there's a couple Greedfalls.
I have never heard of this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there is 2.
Yeah, I see. There's 2. Yeah. So which one are you talking about? Greedfall or Greedfall 2, The Dying World? You've just got the first one, but you've been having a lot of fun with it. Okay, cool. Well, check it out. Here, let me add it to my...
Yeah, it looks like it's been out about 4 years now, so hence why it's 72% off on Steam.
Well, and they're having their big sale, too.
Oh, and this, yeah, that's right.
The add to... Oh, it's playing the trailer. Playing the trailer. We'll just mute that. Add to my wish list. There we go. We're just adding shit to our wish list today. Guys, feel
Yep.
free to look along with us in your Steam account and enjoy.
So I think the other game, knowing that we're running out of time-ish, kind of, Baldur's Gate 3.
It's already out. It's already out. I argue.
It's not really
I argue
out.
it's out. You can pay $59 for it, and they're not really doing anything with it. They're like, oh, now you can be up to level 12 or whatever the hell.
Yeah,
It's been out for like a year and a half.
And that's my problem with the game.
Right.
Is that people paid $70 to $75 for a AAA game that was released in chapters, and each new chapter came out, reset your progress for you to start over again. It's like
I hated it because
I think that is terrible.
I want to play it, but like when I'm like, I'm gonna wait till it comes out till it's done before I get it, because I've always been a Baldur's Gate fan.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like when that happens, I'm gonna be like, yes, I'm so hyped, and everyone else is gonna be, they're like, that's like a 3-year-old game. Like, we don't care, you know?
Yeah, so I think the one thing to help for like your thought there, not all of the companions were released, and they redid a whole bunch of the story. So like this new version that's officially going to be out in however long, couple of weeks now, is going to finally give you a complete version with characters that you can actually customize. Because before you just had presets, you couldn't make up your own real person. So now you can be like, oh, I want to be a dark elf that's a paladin that does this.
Yeah.
Versus in the earlier stuff, they're like, you get to be a dark elf rogue. If you don't want to be a dark elf rogue, wait a month till the next playtest comes out. So at least you can, see the story with how you want it. But yeah, like the Baldur. So games generate hype.
Yes.
Did you see the Baldur's Gate bear hype that was generated this week?
I did not.
So they released gameplay trailer footage, and they were showing that you can, like most games, I think Dragon Age is the one that really started it for me, but you can do like the romances.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the characters is a druid. So you can flirt with them in their animal form and then go to the sex scene while they're in their animal form.
No.
And they showcase this.
No.
And so
that's illegal.
For
That's illegal.
the last 72 hours, that's been that's been the meme theme for Baldur's Gate 3 is this bear druid sex scene.
No.
Yep. No, nothing is bad publicity, but that's what they pushed. That's their start right now.
Some other games I have on my list coming out, obviously if we're talking about games that are already out, like Baldur's Gate. Sorry. AEW's Fight Forever. It's a little bit different. I haven't gotten to play it yet, but it's supposed to be like the old WrestleMania 2000. Like it's the same designers of WrestleMania 2000. So that just came out, but there's I'm looking at my list. Ars Notoria, which is like a medieval fantasy type world. Enshrouded is really cool. PAX DEI I just saw is it's like an MMO meets survival game. It looks really cool. I just saw it today. And Bloody Hell Hotel, which I don't remember. I just remember it was really cool, and I'm just waiting for it to come out. But Bloody Hell Hotel looks freaking ridiculous and fun. So guys, people watching, go ahead and check those games out. But
so one game that I'm excited for, but I will never play, is the Mortal Kombat 1 game coming out.
Oh yeah.
So probably for the last like 7 Mortal Kombats, once they're out, people will beat them, and then they'll compile all of the cutscenes
right
into like a long like 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
Those are so well done. I'm like, yeah, I can't wait. It'll come out, and like 3 days later, I can watch what happens in the story.
Yeah.
Because I want to know. I want to see how it continues with Liu Kang now as the main god of this newly created Earth. And
yeah, because they basically reset time, right?
Yep.
And
in
so
the last game,
it goes back to the first Mortal Kombat, and they're kind of like hitting the reset button more or less.
Yep. And I'm very interested to see how that ties in. I'm also wondering if there's going to be any maybe movie tie-in, if we see that new guy from the last movie show up in here, because he wasn't a character in the game.
Okay.
just to kind of see if they pull any stuff from their movie verse and kind of bring it into the games and see how that transpires. So yeah, I'm excited for it. Will I buy it? Will I play it? No. Will some person on YouTube get about 3 streams for me watching it a couple of times? Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it might depend on who the downloadable like their characters are. I've got a controller now. I used to really like some of the fighting games back in the day. I liked all the Street Fighters and Mortal Kombats and stuff. So who knows? Maybe I will. But I also know that there's a lot of people out there that are a lot better than me. So playing that kind of a game online isn't necessarily fun for me.
Oh yeah, just knowing you got those people that are so good that it's just you can't get a kick
Yeah,
off
they
before
have
they've
they have
killed
a
you 3 times.
$30,000 computer and they're just like pull up and you die and you're like, my game didn't even finish loading yet or whatever.
Yeah, or those people that set up their like cheat macros that they'll eventually get banned for, but until then
Yeah,
they'll spend 6 months trolling people with instant kills.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Screw that.
such a pain.
And that means time has ended on video games and talking about video games. Yes, Larry, Bloody Hell Hotel is the name of the game. Let's see if I can pull it up here real quick.
It looks like a cute little fun you're a vampire that has a hotel.
Yeah,
And whether or not you do good or bad, I think can be up to you.
right. I got your spoopy hotel.
Spoopy hotel.
Yeah, renovate and upgrade. Oh yeah, because you're supposed to you're supposed to get guests to come in. I remember now. You're supposed to get guests to come in and check in there, and then you use their money to renovate the place. But you also are a vampire, so you kill some of them. But you can't kill too many of them, or people won't show up to your hotel.
They hit you with 1-star Google reviews.
Yeah, they hit you with 1-star Google reviews. But then you have to upgrade the hotel to get more people, and then you have to kill them. And I think there's some intrigue as well in there that you can play and stuff. But yeah, it looks silly and fun. And yeah, it says renovate, upgrade, and expand your hotel. Oh, by the way, you're a vampire, so hospitality isn't your strong suit.
Yeah.
Small Land looks graphically interesting. Need to watch some trailers for that. Yeah, I have. Is it Small Land? Yeah, so Small Land is out, and there's another game that's supposed to be like Small Land. And that I think you mentioned it to me today, and I was like, that one's the one that's kinda like Small Land.
Yeah, so I was mentioning Fable.
Yeah, Fable.
Because the trailer for Fable ends up being, for those that haven't seen it, watch it. It's good. Spoiler. But the narrator's a giant in the beginning of it, and it definitely kind of gives
Is
that
he a
Small
giant or
Land
just a
kind of
normal
feel.
sized human?
That I don't know.
I
I was
think he's a
assuming
normal
he was
size-
a giant.
See, I thought he was a normal sized human, and everybody else are like the littles.
Oh, and yeah, and that could be, I don't know. Because there's not a lot of, because they just released stuff about it a week or two off.
Yeah. Hi, Jim. I thought you were off video games. Yeah, but we still chat with the chat about things, so we continue on via the chat and the discussion of the chat.
Yeah, Renfeld. I have a feeling that it took inspiration from the Hotel Transylvania.
I'm sure of it. Yeah,
The first time I saw the trailer, I'm like, oh, this is definitely Hotel Transylvania vibes.
Yeah, for sure. Grace period, so we can randomize talk. Yeah, I want to see Renfield so damn bad. It looks. I like the fact that it was supposed to be a straight to DVD, but everybody was so into it that they decided to release it in theaters instead.
Yeah, we watched it the first day we could get it digitally. It is super fun.
Nice. I just had a message from
I'm
my
here.
neighbor say that they were just outside and they saw a Cooper's Hawk come down and take a house sparrow. I was like, yes, kill all the house sparrows.
Oh, I
Stupid
thought that was
invasive
going to go. They
species.
saw a hawk come down and fly off with one of your chickens.
No, God. That was at first when I saw that, I was like, yeah, our chickens are locked up, so that's not going to be a thing. And then I was like, oh, because they've got a little tiny dog. It's like, a Cooper's Hawk is a little too small to grab their dog. If it were an eagle, I could totally see it taking them away. But, yeah. Did I see Indiana Jones? It just came out. No, I probably won't get time to see it. I have no time to go to the movie theater for like a month. So by the time I see it, it'll probably be when it's on Disney Plus.
Disney.
Yeah. Are you Nick Cage chewing the scenery as Dracula? Well, who, me? Or Renfield? Renfield 2023
Renfield.
is Renfield. Yeah, are you really Nick Cage? By the way, since we were speaking of expansions, Dead by Daylight's coming out with a Nicolas Cage expansion, so you can play as Nicolas Cage. In Dead
Okay,
by
so
Daylight.
I saw that. My question is
He's
he a
not a villain.
character? Okay.
Yeah, no, he is Nicolas Cage, and his powers are based on his acting. He has acting powers.
Oh my god.
They haven't specifically said what they do, but they kind of explained. It was like one of them, the powers is called Master Thespian. And yeah, and so like you're convincing. So basically, the story is the power of Nicolas Cage's acting is so good that the entity gets he gets the entity's attention, and the entity wants him and pulls him into the thing.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Just the power of his acting. And you know, it's Nicolas Cage, so it's like sorry, it's just how very Nicolas Cage. Yeah.
I can't wait till you play as Freddy Krueger and you have a team of 4 Nicolas Cages against
I'm gonna play as Nicolas Cage. That's gonna be my new main. Fuck Bruce Campbell. I love Bruce Campbell, and I will probably go back to him. But Nicolas Cage is now working on a 3rd Ghost Rider movie and a 3rd National Treasure.
Ooh,
I mean,
I
wouldn't it be
love Ghost Rider.
Wouldn't it be a 4th National Treasure? They just did the 3rd one with the girls.
Well, that was a TV show though. It wasn't a movie.
Oh.
It was a series.
See, that's how out of touch I am with some of these movies and TV shows.
I only know because when I finally got around to try to watch it, I found out it was already canceled. So there's no season 2. And I'm like, well, I don't want to know what the story is then, because it won't be done in this first season.
Yeah, they're not going to finish whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah, they will not have stolen the Declaration of Independence in one season.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking for Dead by Daylight, because you can learn powers, like once you kind of master them, give them to other people.
Yes.
So you could be Ash with Master Thespian.
Yeah, I could. I can. I can. I for sure can. Why not? Nick Cage did it in one movie. How did that?
But
pirate
that's the
party
power
go?
of Nick Cage.
Right, it is. How did the pirate party go? It was a wedding, and it was awesome. I think it was pretty good. It was a lot of fun. Matt was there.
Yep.
He was there.
I
with
was a
us.
jellyfish.
He came dressed as a jellyfish because it was a Halloween themed party. So he came. He had his umbrella with the little things coming down, and you know he kept his pants off, so he had the lower part of the. Oh no, I shouldn't have told people that.
That was the after party.
It was the after party. That's right. That's right. Yep. Blind GM's kid went as a chicken, and he wouldn't stop talking like a chicken for at least 3 hours. He's just like bark, 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 the entire night.
Yeah. Not saying I almost punched a kid, but
I kept threatening because I was the pirate, and I had the pirate pistol, and I was like, chicken dinner, anyone?
we so I guess a question for you. I don't know, because I missed this part. Did our friend that dressed up as a fox get their pictures done where it was like the fox chasing the chicken? And then the chicken turning around and like...
I think they had talked about it. I don't know if they actually got the pictures or not. But I know that there was talks of doing that.
Okay. I'll just have to flip through and look at the wedding pictures that were submitted, see if I can find it.
Right.
ADD, man.
ADD, man. Hyperfixation. That's right. Runs in the family. All right, so we talked about video games, and I'm sure we probably could have spent the whole night talking about video games.
Probably.
I have a thing set up to try and be able to watch clips when we're doing this, but I just the one push button thing just doesn't I have to do a lot of stuff. So I have a scene set up for it, but I have to change the scene and then switch to share screen monitor, which I haven't done. But Yeah, shiny scroll for the win, for sure. So otherwise, we could have sat down and watched some of the trailers together as well as part of the thing. I mean, and
Could
I
do that for
could. What's that?
say that would be great for a like upcoming movie discussion.
Oh yeah, yeah. Maybe we'll just do a thing where it's like we just do that. We just watch trailers.
Yes.
Watch the trailers.
I am down.
We'll do it. Trailers would use up your time though. Well, we do them in between hand, in between time.
Yeah, we pause while the trailer's
We
going.
pause while the trailers play. Yeah. But yeah, maybe we'll just do it as its own thing. We'll just do its own whole show.
Oh yeah, not an off the pot. I get what. Yes.
Yeah, we'll just
I
do
agree
a trailer show or trailer reviews. 7 degrees
An
of
epic
Christopher
movie
Lambert.
voice.
Yes, we'll dedicate an entire stream to watching trailers of movies that Christopher Lambert's in. Christopher Lambert. That being said, our next topic is non-d20 tabletop RPGs. And the reason we were talking about this earlier, because of course, this wouldn't be us if the conversation of role-playing didn't come up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, what can we do that's a little bit different? That's not, because with the Game Masters workshop, like we pretty much have covered most everything that exists in, role-playing conversations or in games or just chatting or whatever. A lot of it just gets conversed about. And we had a couple ideas, and I was like, we should save. Matt came up with a topic. I was like, we should save that for Game Masters Workshop down the road. I think that would be a great topic. And I thought, well, what about we just talk about non-d20 tabletop RPGs? Because we don't really talk about those a whole hell of a lot. And a lot of people, when you say tabletop role-playing, most people don't use the term tabletop role-playing. They go, oh, you were playing D&D. So like we're playing Call of Cthulhu and they're like, oh, you were playing D&D? No. D&D is its own game. That's like calling a Nissan a Chevy Camaro. It's like, oh, you're driving your Chevy Camaro? No. I'm driving a car, but it's not a Chevy Camaro. So tabletop RPGs is kind of the term for all of those games. Yeah. When you say tabletop RPGs and people are like, what? Right, exactly. So in order to educate people, we're going to not only talk about tabletop role-playing games, but we're going to talk about stuff that's not even similar to the system that is known as Dungeons and Dragons. So we're not going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. We're not going to talk about Pathfinder. We're not going to talk about Means and Masterminds. That's still a die-20. So we're going to talk about maybe some of those systems, kind of what we like about them, what we don't like about them, what we're playing, other systems that we're like, we know about maybe and want to try playing. Sound good?
Yeah.
So as we get started, Matt, what is the number one when you're talking non-d20 RPG? What's your number one? What's your go-to when you're like, I'm going to run something for people that's not die-20. I'm sick of die-20. We're going to play this.
Oh God, I only have one going on right now that's not die-20. It's Shadowrun.
Yeah.
Because I like the system, but I actually don't think it's my current favorite. I think my current favorite non-D20 is normal Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Just the way it's set up. If you're looking at a game to get into as a player and you don't want to spend a lot of money, they're really good at having a lot of free resources to get the basics of the game. And you need a couple of D10s and like 2 D6s.
Okay.
And that is all you need for the game. It's really low entry to get into.
Rolana Halo coming in. Almost
And
like
speaking of Call of Cthulhu,
yeah, you summoned her with Call of Cthulhu talk.
I did. Yeah, I think Call of Cthulhu, and I don't know if it's called Call of Cthulhu Classic now, because there's also a Cthulhu Dark, which is loosely based on the same rules. However, when I play a game, I would like a game that would go on, like a episodical game that I could play for years. Whereas some of the Cthulhu side games, they're made for one-offs. And the whole point kind of the GM on those games is to try to make the players go insane within the 4-hour time limit. And for me, like as a GM, but also as a player, like I want it to be the collaborative storytelling where it's the GM or DM, whatever title you want to give your person running, is making a
Retelling.
story that everybody increases and makes better versus I'm doing this game to try to kill you in the fastest amount of time.
Yeah.
Like that's not fun. That's not, I'm not going to be vested in a character that's going to die at the end of the session. You know, like that's just not how I
Right.
want to roll. But I know there's people that like that. They want to make a new character every week. That just seems exhausting.
It does. I can play. I could make a new character, and we have like every 4 gaming sessions. Like
Hmm.
I can do that. But yeah, doing like playing like 6 games and having to make a new character for every single game, like
Yeah.
because I want to get invested in my character. I want to enjoy the
Mhm.
character. I want to build the character. I want to grow with
Mhm.
the character for stats and skills and whatever. I don't just want to one and done it.
Yeah. And like speaking of Call of Cthulhu with Orlana Halo on here and being the main storyteller for Call of Cthulhu, it started off as just a one-off, and we all really love the system.
Yeah.
And I was just bringing, it's sadder when they die. The last time we played, my character died, and I went out in a very heroic death. But I'm like, this hurts. And like the character wasn't optimized. The character was literally one wound away from death for every game,
Yeah.
but was such a blast to play. And knowing that he was getting by the skin of his teeth and he wasn't made to be taking hits was a good challenge, but it was really fun. And that Cthulhu mythos is done very well.
Yeah.
So yeah, like for me, like that I think is something I want to get into more. And it's a really easy entry point to get into. You just have to make sure you're not led astray with one of the like sub versions of the game, because I think there's like 4 or 5 out there now.
Right.
Or if you really want the thing one and done, then hey, look at one of the other ones. But definitely take a look in the Cthulhu verse of what type of game you want to be in, because that could vastly change.
And a lot of the non-d20 RPGs are very a lot of them still are very like similar. Like you look at, it was just mentioned that someone's favorite is World of Darkness, which is the the dots and you're rolling die 10s.
Mm-hmm.
There's a handful of games out there that use that system.
Yeah.
It's not just that's not exclusive to World of Darkness. There's a bunch of them out there that use the dots, and every dot you get die 10s. And the thing with Call of Cthulhu is there isn't something that's similar to that. It's very,
I would agree.
Leveling up your skills is very unique, and rolling your skills is very unique, and you don't have to follow a template. It's what you do. And here's the thing for me. You've known me forever, and the way I've always did skills, whether it's the old West End games, Star Wars, Die 6, another great non-die 20, whether it's that or even like D&D, it's like, what did I do in these last games? Because that's where I'm going to put my shit.
Yeah.
And this is a game where it's designed that way. Like,
Yeah.
if you succeed, that's when you level up. And you're not necessarily spending points to level up. It's just what you've done, what you've succeeded on, and then you roll to see if you can level it up because you've done that. It's like, that is right in that big alley, because it shows this is what I'm good at, and this is what I'm doing. And it shows when you learn, you learn something. And so when you learn something, you grow. And I was like, that's just super cool for that system.
And I guess the other thing I really like about that system compared to some other kind of like dot-based systems that you're talking about, it's worthwhile to try in Call of Cthulhu, even if you're not good at something, versus like World of Darkness. You're like, okay, I got 2 dice, but I got nothing in here, so I have 0 dice, so I literally can't do anything.
Right.
You always have a chance, even if it's remote, you still could pull something off and it could be amazing. You could be a newbie and still get a grand success, and suddenly you're driving your car like, I'm not into race cars much, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and
The third.
and going for the gold, or getting the checkered flag. So yeah, I like the idea of you can be fresh and new and still be able to do stuff that's cool.
I'm still a big fan. I think my number one still to this day is, even though we haven't played it in probably between 5 and 10 years, is Deadlands, old school Deadlands. There is a die-20 version of Deadlands, but the whole like drawing your cards and those are your initiatives and you're trying to get poker hands or better, the better hands and stuff, like that kind of stuff, that it was just such a cool, unique, fun game. And yes, too many people, combat would take forever, but I still don't feel like, even if combat took an hour, I still was entertained. I still had fun
Yeah.
with it.
Yep.
Like
I
still watching what other people do and the anticipation of like, these are my cards, because the cards for people watching, you have a deck of cards and you roll your initiative, you draw a card for every of them, and then you start counting down, okay, who has an ace, who has a king, and that's when you go, is based on what you drew out of your hand. So even though you may have a crappy initiative and still have one card, you could still go first. It's just people that rolled well, they might go 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th all in a row.
Yeah, I agree. I think Deadlands was great. I would love to see or be in a Deadlands game where whether it is in, like Wasted West or Weird West, but that is really low key on the magic. Because like the magic is really cool in Deadlands, but I feel like it's so cool that even if you're a non-magic person, eventually you want to become a magic person.
Right.
But just doing like, they have like fighting maneuvers and just using fighting maneuvers, or having different guns and using the, like, oh my God, the gun rules of like, this type of gun has a better chamber, this type of gun has a better trigger, and like mixing and maxing gun parts to like tinker a good gun, which might give you an extra bullet when you shoot, but there's a chance it could literally fall apart in your hands, and you gotta like that risk versus reward, I think, is also really great. Also, I have to credit Deadlands for, man, being so pop culture-y.
Yeah.
And little like running with it to really make people like Red Bull, what does it do? It gives you wings and you can fly for a minute. Or Dr. Pepper removes radiation. Or in the old stuff, well, where do you order all of your gear from? From Smith and Wesson, which is Sears and Roebuck in the game.
Smith and Robards, right? Is it
Smith and Robards, yeah, that's what it
like
is. Yeah. So like taking all of that stuff is so fun.
And I loved, because there's not really a good Old West RPG. Maybe there is now that I don't know of. But I really liked that it had, that system was great for Old West. That's how I started, was the Weird West. I think you did the Wasted West more.
Yep.
And so for me, it was like, I really liked the Old West, the spaghetti Western feel of it. And that's how we started. Like with all the paranormal, everything that was in there, we kind of started off as like, it's just an Old West RPG. I didn't know. I didn't have any idea that there was paranormal stuff till a zombie showed up like on game 5 or 6. What the
Yep.
So it was just, and it was super cool because it was themed like an Old West. We were playing in the world of the Old West. I mean, we were hanging out in, it was kind of like Tombstone. We used like the Tombstone movie storyline stuff kind of as the backdrop of it. So, we had the whatever the gang, the Red Bandana Gang or whatever the hell they were called, was there, and Wyatt Earp was there, and all of that kind of stuff was there. And that was just kind of the backdrop in this fictional town we made called Vendetta. And so it was really cool that it's this non-RPG system, non-die-20 RPG system, set in the Old West with a theme of poker chips and poker cards, and you still are rolling dice.
Yeah. So after things became kind of popular with Deadlands, they released 2 settings that I thought would have been really cool to kind of dabble in. They did Weird Wars 2, which is World War II in the Deadlands universe. So again, like do Nazis have zombies? Of course Nazis have zombies.
Right.
But you could be part of the French resistance that has a werewolf on your side. And so it kind of played up that,
or a coven of witches that are helping you out.
And it played up that magical aspect with like the terrors of war. But then on the other side, they did Deadlands Pulp, which is
noir.
which is the noir. And that one was very low magic, very low things that go bump in the night, which again, like a great system for like making an
Which, by the way,
investigator
we had one of the
or
designers, John Goff, on the podcast.
Yep.
Check it out. Go download it.
But yeah, like great setting, a setting that you could implement for fantasy space. Well, because they even made their own space one, the far out west.
Yeah, way
But
out west?
yeah, way out west. That's it. Yeah, way out west. But the system, yeah, really easy using the cards, using the card draw to figure out your stats was another great part.
Yeah. I like
Yep.
that.
It was awesome. Yeah.
There is there was an old podcast that myself and the Blind GM used to be a part of way back when. And at the tail end of that, Atlas Games contacted us and they wanted us to play test a game and then do a podcast about the show. Of course, that was right at the end. The podcast didn't happen. That game never happened, but I still got the books. And the game system is called Unknown Armies. And I, to this day, still want to play Unknown Armies. So I don't know. I might see about rereading the rules and see about maybe doing, maybe trying to stream it or just do a private game session of this tabletop RPG called Unknown Armies. And it's kind of, I think it's like a modern thing. And there's like secret organizations. There's like 30 or 40 secret organizations in the world, and they are all running the world, but they're all also competing with each other to run the world.
Oh, that's cool.
And you work for them. So I have a friend who swears by Unknown Armies. Nice.
Oh, yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I definitely. So I've got all three books because they gave me it as the box set, their Kickstarter box set. And I was like, oh man. And I feel really bad because we never did that. It's like, I should really do that. I kind of wanted to find the designer to come on and to like do a podcast just so I can clear my conscience and to promote it because it looks really cool. So in a cult game about broken people conspiring to fix the world. That's the tagline.
I like that. That's a good tagline. Well, and it's good to know that it's still out. It's not like something that fizzled and died.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the, I don't want to say like problems with non-d20 RPGs, but like the d20 RPGs have been kind of like the backbone for so long that you see these Kickstarters that seem to do really good, but then once they're out of that Kickstarter phase, they can't get the sales or they can't get enough stores to carry their goods, and then they die out in a year or two.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of good to see that this one, even though it was a Kickstarter, is still around. People still play it. I mean, shit, people swear by it. You know, it's like this is their go-to game.
Right.
So no, that's cool that it's still around and still a thing.
Have you done the Fate of the Norn stuff at all?
I have not.
Do you know if that's a die 20 type system? I don't know.
I haven't played it at all, so I have no idea.
I'll have to. I wonder if I could convince Andrew Belkoskis to like run a thing of Fate of the Norns.
Probably.
Now I've got my brain spinning. Maybe.
So another game that I think, and one that I hadn't thought of until just now, oh god, now my brain's breaking. Rockheimer, are you here? It's the Oriental game that you had me play.
Legend of the Five Rings?
Legend of the Five Rings. Yes. So the thing that I think that Legend of the Five Rings and why it's so amazing, like it's not die 20, you can make up, like they have the various samurai clans, but you can make like an Outlander. It's like your reverse Lexus.
That's what I did. I played. That's what I played. I actually, because it was kind of the same system as 7th Sea.
Yep.
And so I literally took my character from 7th Sea, and then I made him for Legend of the Five Rings as an Outlander.
Yeah, like I think that the concept is really cool. They're really good with the lore and taking things from Chinese and Japanese mythology and you know different Asian cultures and working them into the different clans while making them feel like clean, like you don't feel dirty, like you're like stealing someone's or some culture's identity while playing the game. But also what they did is they have this living world, and every year, and I believe it starts at Gen Con and it ends like the month before Gen Con. but say you played, and I don't remember the clan names. Say you're on the Dragon Clan, and everyone in the Epic Realms verse plays as part of this Dragon Clan. And at the end of the year, we've had sanctioned games. We send in the points, and we can go, well, with our 500 points, we want to invest that into the Dragon Clan's resources.
Guys, as you know, when you hear this summer, you gotta post your dancing emotes. If you have emotes to dance, thank you, Renfield, for playing the Epic Sax remix.
But yeah, so people in the living world literally changed what happened in the game. So they might have an overarching story arc with the manufacturer, but enough people decide to spend points to make this one group assassinate the emperor. Well, when their next year book comes out, the emperor's dead.
Right.
Because of what players have wanted to do. And I have never seen a company do something like that and stick to the points with our players have done this, so we're going to show the consequences.
Yeah.
And that I thought was so refreshing.
Curly Girl asks, have we had to eat any spicy chips yet? We haven't yet. We haven't hit a hype train.
A whole bag of them.
We haven't had to eat. We haven't hit a hype train yet. Thank goodness. Because that's a double the spicy chips. Because Matt's doing them too. For those that have just come in, if we hit hype trains, Matt eats a spicy chip and I eat a spicy chip. So that's both him and me. You get double their pleasure, double not our fun.
Their tears.
Yeah, double our tears, double their fun.
Double our tears. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
paused it when the song was playing. I paused the.
Nice.
The thing,
Okay.
So we didn't do.
I didn't want. Yeah, I'm like, oh, are we gonna run out of time?
We're not gonna run out of time.
Okay.
So there was another game that I was trying to think of. That is a non-d20 system. What do you think it is that makes a non-d20 system stand out from d20? Besides the fact that there's so many d20s at this point.
I think a lot of it is how different the setting is. And some of it is like when they can get in as like being what they are, like Shadowruns. That was the first role-playing game I ever played with Shadowrun. Back when it was Shadowrun second edition, I think was like 1992. And now I believe they're on like 7th or 8th edition.
Yeah.
So they have followers, people that have, been playing the game for 40 years, but also they advance with the time. Like when the first game came out, the big technology was literally a cell phone. Well, cell phones are a thing now. So then they advance the world even more. Because you can't have a game set, 70 years in the future when, oh, look at this new technology, it's a cell phone. And you're like, oh, I got one in my pocket.
Yeah.
So that they're willing to update and keep with the flow, I think is very cool. But also, kind of as weird as this sounds, if you can be like a Star Wars or a Ghostbusters, or if you can latch on and get the rights to something that's already known,
yeah,
that just kind of helps you get those sales for people that are interested, or just people that are collectors of that universe. So there's a bunch of people that bought the re-release of the Cyberpunk non-d20 game because they played Cyberpunk 2077,
right,
and they love the Netflix anime. So they bought it. They're never going to play it, but it's on their shelf with the rest of their collectibles.
Or maybe they will play it, and then we'll have a whole new slew of role players in the world.
Exactly.
I'd love to see with the new Ghostbusters movie. You brought it up. With the new Ghostbusters, I'd love to see them release a new RPG for Ghostbusters. I think that would be freaking cool.
I would love to see them do an RPG, but use D12s because they need more love.
I don't. Who did I talk to? I talked to Matt Forbeck. One of the people I had on the show. I think it was Matt, and we talked about this was off the show afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was him, and we were talking about that. But I had mentioned something similar. He's like,
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
yeah, we got to do the head stop, right? That's the inspiration for the emote, is that song right there. Okay, that and the turn it up alert is also the inspiration for that song. Those are the two inspirations for that song. But yeah, I was talking to them about that, and they're like, you don't want to pigeonhole yourself because you want to use die 12s. Because pigeonholing yourself because you want to use a certain dice or a certain mechanic can potentially ruin the rest of the game. Like if you start off with that and it evolves to something else, you have to be willing to move on from that concept. And I was like, that's true, because you know, maybe that's the reason there's not a lot of die 12 systems out there. But there's
true.
you know, there's a lot of die 6 systems out there, a lot of, you know, die 20 obviously systems out there, die 10 systems, as we had mentioned.
So one reason why like my mind's kind of like sitting on like die 12s because like an underused dice, but like my wife's been making dice, and you look at people that make dice for gaming, and the bigger die you have, you can put some cool stuff into
Right.
that die. So like if you had a D12 game, just like a marketing idea, you could make some really cool looking specialized dice that you could get so much more inclusion and so much more like sediment or glitter or whatever you want to put in
Right.
into those dice that you can't do in like a D6. But then everybody's making, like, you can get like big old crazy chunk D20s, but you know, the idea of dropping $50 on one die just hurts my little gamer soul that would buy a whole set of dice for like $8 at, you know, a 16-year-old.
Well, Jim says I playtested a die 12 system at Con of the North years ago. It was really bad.
Oh, ouch. You just need to make a better one, Blind GM.
There you go. Write it up.
Write it up, start pimping it out on Tic Tacs, and we'll see where it goes on the Tic Tacs.
The Tic Tacs.
Come
Uh-oh.
to the lab and see.
I think
what's
Lyric's
on
trying to get a
this
hype train
lab.
going.
I think Lyric is trying to get a hype train.
With anticipation. But maybe the rain is really to blame. So I'll remove the cause, but not the symptom.
Thank you, Lyric, for playing that. Everybody roll a die 12. I'm noticing nobody else is trying to help Lyric make us eat spicy chips.
Turn
Oh, no.
it up, yeah. Turn it up.
Oh, it's
yeah.
close. It says it's close.
Turn it up, yeah. Turn it up, yeah.
Turn it up? No. Don't turn it up. Spoke too soon. There. Well, there's 4 minutes.
Oh.
There's a possibility now. They've got 4 minutes to get it going, and then to get it to the wherever point.
Yeah, because that's only one chip.
Yeah,
But
level
then-
1 is one chip for both of us.
And then level 2, 2 chips for both of us.
Total,
level
not,
3,
not total.
3
not,
chips
no,
for both of us.
No,
You got to
can
make it
certainly-
special. You got to make sure that people get a hype train. Like a level rank 14 is 14 chips
So
plus
there
the
you go.
13 plus the 12
Matt
plus
says
the
he will
11,
do that. Matt is going to do that. He just said it.
and Nick will do it because you all will tease him if he doesn't.
Say that. I didn't say that.
But it might not happen.
It might not happen.
I might be safe.
Drink redemption's on the blind GM's revenge. No, you have the revenge is the haunted ghost pepper chips, and that's it. You got to hit a hype train.
yeah.
You can get revenge.
I'm drinking cinnamon whiskey. Bring all the revenge you want. Like
Yeah, we're
type a
already
1,
drinking.
type a 1 in chat, and I'll have a drink. Oh no!
much money do I have to spend to make you eat a handful? I mean, a handful is what, 5 chips? So
So that's a rank 5 hype train.
rank 5 hype train. That's a lot.
Oh, there's those ones. Yes.
17. There's only 1 in 17.
Oh, that's right. No, that was 4.
Well, technically 5 because Blind GM wrote a 17, so that was 1, and then Rolana Halo did 4 1.
Yep,
so
I'm on. I'm on 3 now. I have 2 more.
Mine's empty. Mine is empty.
Can't you ask a mod to refill for you?
Always remember, if you ain't first, you're last.
That's right. If you ain't first, you're last. Thank you, Lyric, for letting us know if you ain't first, you're last. People have 2 minutes to get this hype train started. Lyric can't do all the work. It doesn't necessarily always work that way. I mean, Lyric could potentially try.
I thought this was my anniversary of my however many months, but I believe that happens on Wednesday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they're usually set to go on Wednesdays because I started on the Sandpoint day.
Oh.
Yeah.
No Tango Dinero. It's understandable. If you have a Prime, Prime subscription, Yar. Never expected. Yar. R, har, diddly dee, and I don't even have any. I can't even help because I also don't have my other. I don't have it up on my thing. So I can't even help you, Lyric. I can't help you make us eat spicy chips. People just aren't into us having spicy chips today, apparently.
This is fine.
It happens.
It works.
Oh, we'll wait for the thinger to count down, and then we will move. So we're gonna do a thing coming up here. The next category it's a little bit different. It's not necessarily covering a topic. It's something we did on an old podcast called Gaming Stories. And I, for one, have always thought when you're sitting at a table with a bunch of people and they talk about their character and the next person talks about their character, I always thought that telling gaming stories, like, I don't want to listen to other people's gaming stories. That's always been my theory. But now I
So you
realize
see that guy shows up and swings at you, and it scrapes across your armor as you cast your spell.
Go. Mithril breastplate, bitch.
And there's the hype train. Mithril breastplate from Rolana Halo and a gifted sub to Wow, it's a Pop-Tart. I haven't seen Pop-Tart in a while. Pop-Tart's awesome, guys. We have started. We're at 60% of the level 1 hype train. 60%. Get the thing out. Have fun with the rest of the Optipod battle. Good night, Emmy. So if we hit level 1, we are both eating spicy chips. Did you open it?
Yep.
All right. Nope. There we go.
I want a good chip.
You want a good chip? Little bit of a snack. Little bit of a snack. Did someone say snack? Snack, snack. Snacky, snacky, snack, snack, snack. Gotta get a snack, snack, snack. Gotta get a snacky, snack, snack, snack. For the puppy dog, snacky, snack, snack. For the adult, snacky, snack, snack. Gotta have snacks. You gotta have snacks. Gotta have all the snacks because they're tasty, yeah. Gotta have the snacky snacks, yeah.
Turn it up, yeah. Turn
I
it
forgot
up,
that
yeah.
got put in there.
Turn it up, yeah. Turn it up, yeah.
For the hot chips.
For the hot chips, thank you, Emmy Kiko. For the hot chips. People are getting double there. There is a pile of hot. Oh my gosh, there's like a pile. Like I could go in there and get like a pinch of just the dust. Ugh. Gotta get snacks. I forgot that I made that snack one an alert. I have to remember the buttons. It's like this one, and then it's 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 that one, and then we're dancing. We're dancing on the controller. Hype train level 1 cleared. I gotta get like a couple pieces. Dancing on the controller. Don't know what these buttons do, but we're doing them anyhow. I'm failing bad, yeah.
Pile of hot epica for ya.
No amount of bits or money to snort the dust at the bottom of the bag. Like I have bad allergies, and that would clear them out, but that might melt my. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jack.
Thank you, Rolana Halo. I notice you're not drinking the alcohol to wash that down.
No, I have my Propel Fitness water. Delicious.
Worse than Chinese hot mustard up the nose? Yeah. For sure. Oh! Matt, your face is turning a little red there.
It's well, it gets a little warm.
So I got that going, which is nice.
Little warm.
Yeah, so you got that going for you, which is nice.
Yep. Actually, which is really nice. I have a dill pickle pizza waiting for me when we take our quick break.
Oh,
Should be delicious.
delicious, shush, shush. Whew. So you got that going for you.
Yep.
So I got that going, which is nice.
Whew. For those that don't know, there's a story why that's an alert, and it's going to stay there for a while. Oh my gosh. Post a picture in food so I can troll Penny with it. So you needed to take a picture of your dill pickle pizza and post it in Discord, Matt.
Oh yeah, definitely. I am super excited.
Matt also likes deep fried dill pickles.
I love deep fried dill pickles. So good. Favorite app.
Favorite. Don't touch the eyes, right? Don't touch the eyes. Don't touch the eyes.
True.
Blind GM, I do like me some dill pickle pizza.
Blind GM Rocco's now carries it.
Oh, really?
It is new. They added it about a month ago.
And fried dills are amazing. I can't have fried dills unless I make them myself. Oh, spicy chip giving me hiccups again.
Turn it up, yeah. Turn it up.
You just wanted to
yeah.
give yourself another spicy chip? Is that what
Turn
you're
it up.
saying?
Yeah.
If I suffer, you have to suffer, which is totally fine.
Mm-mm.
I'm all for joint suffering.
Huh. The sacrifice Matt is willing to make me suffer.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Gaming Stories is coming up next. That's what we're going to do after break, after the hype train. We're going to do the telegaming stories. Do you have any in the back of mind? Don't just that's yes or no question. No details.
My brain can't think right now after 2 hot chips.
Yeah.
It's just thinking of the pickle pizza I'll be enjoying.
Pickle pizza. Blind GM says he'll suggest a few. You have to save those. We'll have to do that as a topic when you're on as well, Mr. Blind GM.
Oh no, we have some. We have some, yeah.
I mean, you can always message me and maybe I'll bring it up. Throw it in a Discord and let me know. I won't see it if it's in the Google Hangouts sort of chat situation. 59 seconds till the hype train is over. We're at 30% of a level 2. 30%.
Only 30%.
Well, here's the thing. Tonight, I have 1,
True,
2,
there's only
3,
12
4,
of us.
5, 6, 7 other people from our community are streaming right now. So not everybody that normally would destroy us is here tonight to destroy us.
That's true. Well, I mean, we have 30 seconds left. If we hit the next level of the hype train, will you and I continue this on Wednesday? It's like a 30-second challenge. And then I can cry while running Soul and Souls.
I mean, sure. If we hit hype trains on Saturday
3,
for sure, or on Wednesday.
Okay,
sure.
Cool.
So there you go,
I got
guys.
a whole bag of chips.
There you go, guys. Matt's going to be doing hype train chips on Wednesday for Stolen Souls. Stolen Souls are, there we go. Thank you guys so much for hitting the level 2 hype train. Much appreciated. Completing level 1, hitting level 2. We will be back for Stolen Souls on Wednesday. Tomorrow, what is the game I'm playing tomorrow?
No.
Oh, roll out of Halo. Too late.
Oh,
Seconds
you just
too late.
missed it.
Like 20 seconds too late.
With
Oh no. That's
I'm gonna do another chip. I'm just gonna do another chip. We would have hit it.
we would have. I mean,
We
we
would.
might hit another one and force you to do another one after that one, but
It's on hype trains are on cooldowns, automated cooldowns that I can't
Oh,
change.
Turn it up, yeah.
But we'll eat
Turn
it. For
up,
you, Rolana
yeah.
Halo,
Turn it
we'll do
up,
the second
yeah.
one. Although for me, it's like
Turn,
three
turn,
little
turn
ones.
it up, yeah.
yeah. I'll do another one too.
That was God's fair.
Delicious.
I've always said I like the chip. I don't like the heat. Especially when I inhale it. You know, when you put it in there and you breathe.
Yeah, you
The
have
dust.
to breathe before you eat.
You do.
Yes.
And there's no number of donations that can make me touch my eyes right now. Nat, how about you? What will it take to make you touch your eyes?
Nothing will. But before I take the picture, oh no,
You have to turn off your
blurry.
you have to turn off your
Hold
blurry
on.
background.
Things that I gotta do. Okay. Check out that.
Oh, it's at a half and half?
No, it's comes with breakfast bacon
Oh, okay.
and the pickles, which I'm very excited for.
Nice. Well, that being said, everyone, hold on. We'll be back. We're going to tell gaming stories in a bit, and we know from a fact from the old podcast that myself and the Blind GM and Matt's been on as well, that gaming stories have been popular in the past. So you get to hear stories of things that have happened in the days gone yonder. So stick around, hang out, and we will be right back after this break. I'm going to get a refill. I'm probably going to wash my mouth out with some sort of creamery something or other. Matt's going to have dill pickle pizza, and we'll be back in just a moment. So we'll see you guys in just a few. Did it work that time? Did you guys all hear it? Did you guys all hear it this time? Did it work? Did it work? I hope it worked.
I think so. Lyric had some wheeze.
Wee woo, wee woo. There is okay, I gotta play this. Those that are from Minnesota will recognize this. I found, I clipped, and I edited a sound alert. And it's a more expensive one because it's longer. Let's see if I think I did it. I think I finished it. And those that are from Minnesota will get this. Here we go. I'm gonna play it right now.
Yeah, we got a code red out here on Long Lake. I don't think he's got a license. Yeah, I'm eyeing a group of four over there on Bluegill Bay. Not enough life preservers. Yeah, we got a lady out on Candy Cove with her bobbers out. Think the dude that she's with is playing with his leech. We don't need backup.
Yeah! It's the fish police. Yeah, the fish police. Reeling in the bad guys. Throwing back the small ones. It's the fish police. Mother 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 fish police, yeah. Mother fish police, yeah. Mother fish police. Mother fish police.
This is Jesse the Body. You're watching Fish Police.
Fish Police is dedicated to the men and women in fish enforcement.
And my dog Gorilla. So there you go. I went and I get this. So there's a local radio show that used to play. I think that's like 10 years old, and it was a whole
Oh, at
series they
least.
did. It was a whole series they did, and they're hilarious because that's just the intro to the show, and then there's a story. It's like busted for being an asshole. And so yeah, go and look up what 93X Fish Police, and you'll get that. So I'm gonna throw that as a clip because I don't think anybody cares if I do the intro as a sound alert, and if they do, they can come and yell at me. But yeah.
Oh.
And the one of the DJs, he does a pretty spot on Jesse the Body Ventura impersonation. So it's pretty damn good. That being said, welcome on back. We are back from the break. We've talked some video games, video gaming, upcoming games that are coming out. We talked about non-d20 RPGs, tabletop RPGs, and that went by pretty quick. Both of those, I think, went by pretty quick conversations. So maybe we'll have a thing where we just get a bunch of us on and just talk about some of those systems more like in depth sort of situation. We'll see what's coming up down the road. So yeah, next on our list, the alcohol is finally kicking in a little bit. And of course, my mouth is finally stopped kind of not burning anymore. So hopefully I can talk a little bit better now, sort of, maybe not.
My pizza helped.
Your pizza helped? The pickle pizza.
Oh, yeah.
That should be like the name of a band. We're the pickle pizza, everybody. Have a good night.
Yeah, hey, marketing would be easy for them. So you get a nice slice on the front, pickle pizza, and then your band dates or your show dates on the back. And
should I make that should that be a new Epic Realms t-shirt? The pickle pizza?
Pickle pizza. Yes, I think it should. That
Epic
should be
Realms,
your season
the pickle
2.
Pizza. Oh, Rock Time! Rockheim coming in with a 5-bomb. Thank you so much, Rockheim, for the 5-bomb. You missed the hype train earlier. I'm so glad that you weren't here for that hype train. Dear God, that would have killed us. That would have been 2 more chips.
Because we're still on cooldown.
We're still on cooldown, yeah.
Oh,
For sure. Yeah, I think it's a 10-minute cooldown. So
shame.
It's very much a shame. In case they're all pickle pizza. No, that pizza looks amazing. It does look good. That does look good. Is that from the place you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, it's from Rocco's. So the place that does the cheese fries.
Okay.
That you used to love before you realized why you were always getting sick after having cheese fries.
Even though they were so good. By the way, Rockheim.
So I got that going on, which is nice.
Just saying.
Like, I feel bad because, like, we gave Rolana Halo a chip because we know that they would have hit it, but it took time to buy more points. So I just think Rockheim deserves a chip.
Well, that makes one of us. I love Rockheim, but I don't love the spicy chips. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that would have gotten us to a. Matt, I hate you.
I'm just here to help.
So bad.
I mean, as you said, these are all my fault anyways.
They are your fault. This was your idea. That's right. This was your idea to do this as a freaking special. God damn. My mouth just cooled off. Rockheim, thank you. You're welcome. Thank Matt. I hate you, Matt.
I know you hate me.
So I got that going on, which is nice.
I think that one's going to get a lot of use. Like, I don't spend a lot of points when I'm running, but after I crit on people, I think that would be a great way to celebrate watching someone just take a shit ton of damage.
So I got that going on, which is nice.
I want to play it. There's a story. There's a story behind this. There's a story why I put that in there.
And he'll never get to it because the chip is going to kill him.
Yep. Pretty much. So the story is, we're not even on gaming stories. So this past weekend, when we were at the Halloween, the Halloween wedding thing, I said something. I was like, we were talking about something, and then I finished it off with, next time Matt has to open the bag from the bottom.
No, that is not how this works.
And I said something, and I was like, so I got that going for me, which is nice. And Curly Girl, my wife, goes, okay, Rockheim. She didn't say Rockheim. She said his real name. Okay, Rockheim. And I was like, you know he says that because it's from a movie. That's a movie quote. You know that, right? Like, I didn't... What movie? I was like, it's from Caddyshack. Oh, okay. She didn't have a clue. And I was like, so that's the reason. Like, he and I've quoted it multiple times. It's one of my favorite quotes from that show. See, I got that going for me. And so that day, that was the day that I got my epic sunburn, which is finally starting to heal a little bit. So that day we went out fishing, and I told him the story. And that day, we probably said that quote about 12 times. We were just constantly, so I got that going for me. All day long, we were doing that. And I got home, and then the next day I was getting rid of sound alerts and setting up new sound alerts and new channel point sound alerts, some new stuff for you all. And I was sitting there, I was like, what can I do? What can I have for sound alerts? What's the thing? And I did the fish police thing, and I was like, you know, I bet I could get that sound from Caddyshack. And I had to edit out because there's like, in the 80s when they were filming stuff, there's like all kinds of noises. There's this, like, you can hear trays smacking in the background. So just as an audio file, I had to do a lot of work to segregate that clip from like the banging of the golf course. And I think they were in like a diner, not in a diner, but they were like in a kitchen eating. So you hear like the things hitting plates and banging and people talking in the background. And I'm like, I had to like do a lot of editing to get that sound clip to where it is. So yeah, now it's there, and I got that going. I got that going for me, which is nice. And so it's kind of a troll on Curly Girl, kind of a joke with Rockheim, and it's also just kind of a fun clip. So
it's a really good clip.
So yeah, I got that going for me, which is nice.
I think, is this also the other new one that you did? I'm going to redeem it.
Usually you pay double for that kind of action, Cotton.
So that used to be a channel point one, or a bit one, and I moved it to the channel point. So yeah, so that's another one I like usually, and that one got played a lot last night when I did my impromptu thing. And of course, the do what you want is still there. The epic sax player dancing emotes is still there, and the actual bit. If you look at the sound alerts list, the dashboard, we've got the fish police has been added. Rum always gone? And the rum, yeah. Why is the rum gone? That's a new one too. So and then we added the epic rums can go F himself, and the goddammit epic rums has been added to the bit alerts. Fish police has been added to the bit alerts. I think run is a new one. The run do. That one's been added. I made the Dead by Daylight Huntress Lullaby cheaper. So that one's only like 100 bits. Of course, there's the clip that says Epic Realms Embarrassed Long version. I'm not going to mention what that is, but... and yeah, and then all of the other ones that are on our list. And then there's, of course, the freebie. The freebie, you're fired if you're a sub. Subs get a freebie. People that are subbed can tell me I'm fired whenever they want. So those are some of the new ones. So yeah, thank you very much for playing those. Thank you for the hype trades. Thank you for the gifted subs. And we're going to tell some gaming stories. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah! Fired!
There it is. I'm fired. Thank you for firing me, Lyric. I'm fired again. That's okay, Lyric. You're hired. Lyric, you are hired because of the new sound, the new thing, and I'm gonna try and figure out how I can get that to transition into the stream thing as a permanent fixture. That being said, bet out of all of the gaming stories, of all the things that have happened, the chat needs to hear the story behind Turned Down for What? So, what if I can find that on the thing? Hold on a sec. Give me a second here. Give me a second, guys.
You trying to find "Turn Down for What" as a sound?
Yeah, let me see here.
Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
That's not the actual one. There it is. So you guys know this one. Well, my ears heard that. Yeah, so I didn't know what the volume level would be on those. So the story of the Turn Down for What? Sorry, Matt, I was going to start with you, but chat asked about that.
That's fine.
And it makes sense. So we played Mutants and Masterminds. Well, that kicked in our sound system, did it? So that, we played a game of Mutants and Masterminds in Monkey Swag. Mutants and Masterminds is a tabletop RPG. It's a die 20 system, superhero themed. And we were playing, and one of the main bad guys had like this giant thing that dropped down. And I'm going to be missing some of the beats because it's been a while. But during the thing, the GM sat down and played that song on repeat for the entire encounter. And if you failed your save, you would start like smashing through walls and stuff. And we played, I think that song played for like freaking 3 hours straight during the gaming session. The entire song. Just 3 hours of this. During combat, during role play, while we're going, everything we do, non-stop, 3 hours that was playing in the background. It became the meme of our tabletop role-playing sessions. And the main bad guy was like Little Swag or something like that was the name of the bad guy. And he, like from that day on, Little Swank was Little Swank. And it was just so horrible and bad, and we're like, and it will forever live in infamy. I don't think I could tell this in such a manner that would reflect the amount of fuck you monkey swag that we had and still have to this day. Every time I hear that song, I think every once in a while one of us will still link everybody else in that game. We'll still link that song and play it for everybody. And you know what we're gonna do? This is what we're gonna do. Because monkey swag. There, now everybody can play it for 500 bits whenever they want. I'll go in and I'll find a better one later down the road, but for now the one we just heard is the one we're gonna get. So you are muted, Matt.
So Monkey Swag is on Wednesday's game. So if you really want to make him feel that, just cash in bits. Every time that he's about to talk.
Every time he's gonna talk.
Just cash in bits.
I mean, I can play it infinitely, but I probably won't.
Yeah, but yours doesn't increase the chip counter.
That's true. It doesn't. But it would be really fun just to make it. But yeah. I'll just have Enoch's forehead twerk.
Oh God, now I'm picturing that.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
So Matt, out of all the now that we've told that, and now that people get the backstory of Turned Down for What, or at least a little bit of it, Matt, what is probably one of the biggest standout gaming stories that you have told or can think of that's happened in the past? Something that just stands out to you when you're thinking gaming stories, like, I gotta tell this story.
So I'm gonna play a sound bite that leads into this story.
You might need to share the soundbite to me so I can play the soundbite. I don't know if you playing it will make me hear it.
Oh, let's try. Let's see.
Oh, one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
It works that way. Is this a Milo Hodgepodge story?
No, nope,
Okay.
nope.
You know what I'm
this
talking
is-
about, though, don't you?
This is my Bacchus Schnauzer story.
Oh,
So we had a GM that was like, "Hey, I just kind of want to give everyone, let's give you some wishes," which, just to like kind of tweak the game up. And I was reading and I found out that Smurv-Neblin, which are dark gnomes, their leader is appointed by the size of their nose. So I'm like, my guy's nose is so big, his last name is Schnauzer. And I was playing a rogue, and I'm like, I just want to do something dumb, and I want to be able to attack with my nose and have it do like damage of a dagger. Like, doesn't seem crazy, but I'm like, I'm all into like, my nose is so big I can use it as a weapon.
yeah. So your
And-
wish was to be able to attack with your nose.
Attack with my nose. And the GM was like people are like asking for wishes, like every weapon they wield's like a +5 Vorpal weapon. Like you just want to stab someone with your nose. I'm like, I just want to stab people with my nose. Like it's not like crazy. Well, he used the rule of if you roll a 20, you crit. Roll again. If you get a 20, it stacks. So it goes ×2, ×3, ×4, ×5. Well, this was 2nd edition D&D, and Rogue Sneak Attack went ×2, ×3,
Yeah, they
×4,
already were
×5.
multipliers because they were.
They were
sneak
already
attacks.
multipliers. So, like at this point, I think it was like at a ×3 sneak attack, and I sneak up the dragons fighting everyone else. I like sneak up on the dragon, and
And
I'm
did
like,
you wish for sneak attack as well? Like one of your wishes was like, I wish I could sneak attack because you.
no,
weren't
because
playing
I was a
sneak-
rogue.
Oh, were you a rogue? Okay.
I was a rogue. Yep.
Because I know a lot of people just wish to have sneak attack because they were playing like fighters.
Yeah. Yep. I was just a rogue. I think my other wish was for like a fighter's tackle.
Yeah.
But so I could hit better, and I'm just gonna go up. I'm gonna sneak up, and I'm gonna stab this dragon with my nose. And he's like, "Fuck it, whatever."
And it was
I
like one of
rolled-
the main bad guys. Like he had to spend
Yeah.
a lot of time building this dragon.
And like this dragon was supposed to fight us, and like we were supposed to run after like a couple of rounds when we're getting our asses kicked. And I rolled like 6 20s. So it was ×3, ×4, ×5, ×6, ×7, ×8. It was like ×9 damage.
×9, and then your sneak attack, which is times
And then the
9
sneak
times
attack,
3.
So I
And it
rolled,
wasn't
and
added, right? It wasn't like 9, 10, 11, 12. It was 9, 18, 32,
yes,
or whatever.
Yeah, it was like just a dumb increase. And so I stabbed this
9,
dragon
18,
with my
27.
nose, and the dragon dies. And he looks, and he's like doing the math. He's like, you can't have killed the dragon with your nose. And he's looking, he's like, huh, you did. And then he closed his book and left.
Yeah, it's like
Just was gone.
And it wasn't just that. Like he took his thing. I remember because he was like sitting there and he's like grabbed his stuff
we
and
were
he's
at
like started
Perkins.
putting stuff in his bag. Like he didn't say anything. Just put stuff in his bag, closed the book, put it in his bag, grabbed the other thing, put it in his bag. Didn't say a word. Just got up and walked out.
Yep. And then so like that was like a dumb way to die for the dragon, because like really, like who would have thought?
Right.
But then the next game, he's like, oh yeah, well dragons are born in clutches of 12. So he sent 11 dragons after me to kill me. And I'm like at this point you're just trying to kill me. And I'm like, so I'll just be super cheap. Because Smurv-Neblin had ability where if they stand still, they just become invisible and look like rocks.
Yeah.
So I just did nothing for the whole game. I'm like, I can outweight a dragon. I can outweight 11 dragons. Yeah. Like I just do nothing because this is like a super dumb move. But yeah, like that's one of the stories.
But
that
he
just,
did
like,
end up killing you, didn't he? Didn't he kill
He
you?
did
that
end up
game?
killing me. He made one of them like cast an earthquake, so I fell, and then all of the dragons descended, and yeah, it was terrible. But I'm like whatever. Like you derailed a whole game because I sneak attacked a dragon with my nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their class says 5,897 hours in Skyrim. It includes original and anniversary with 321 mods.
See, I'm blown away by the number of mods. Oh, like I'm always afraid of crashing my game so terribly that it just like is beyond broken that I can't play again.
Yeah, I played with like 3 mods, and they were approved by Bethesda or even built by
Yeah.
Bethesda.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Like the one with the extra buildings, and there's like the one ice crystal tower building that you could get.
Yep. Or like things like the trees look better. like I use mods now that make it seem like, 2023
Graphics.
technology versus a, 2010 game.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that one's really huge. Some other ones, I think was even in the same game. Oh no, it was our Epic game, but same GM. We had a character that ran and was fighting this wizard, and this wizard was getting rocked, and he just teleported and teleported the character to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
And
because he's like full, like the mountain plate is what he wore.
Yep.
So it's like you had a movement speed of 5.
Yeah, and he's like, "Well, you're in the bottom of the ocean." I looked it up. Pressure does 20d6 damage around, and you can't breathe. And the player goes, "Oh, well, I have a cloak of the manta ray, so I just turn into a manta ray and I swim up." And the GM's like, "What? What?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always like telling stories about when you have GMs that their whole goal is to F you, and you find a way to F them back. Those are always kind of some fun stories.
Mhm.
But at the same point, like I don't encourage you be dicks to your players in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, you're telling a story together.
Right.
Like now, if you do something dumb and die, well, at that point, that's your fault. Like you'll see it in games like you can run. Like the GM's like, oh, here's this side tunnel. Like if your stuff goes bad, you could run away. Well, sometimes they're telling you might have to run away, and like don't be afraid. Like you'll lose out on experience, but you'll live. And the real story might be down that tunnel, not fighting this big dumb dragon. What I think of useless in Call of Cthulhu. Oh yeah.
Hubby was guest starring as an NPC, a baby red dragon, walking with the party as a cheerful, innocent helper guide. The GM described it as an ominous and loud swooshing sound coming from overhead. Baby dragon looked straight up and yelled with a big grin, "Can I keep them?" They had to take a break because the whole party was laughing their tails off.
Oh, that is hilarious. Oh, that's good.
So Mama Dragon was coming by and being like,
"Yep,
Mama, can I keep him?" That's great. That's freaking priceless.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I have so many, and I'm like, I don't know what stories I've told here or not.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I know this. What was it, last weekend or weekend before? I told a Deadlands story that's like really near and dear to my heart. But I think I've told that one here on stream as well. So like, I was thinking today, I was like, well, what kind of gaming stories can I tell that I haven't stolen? I'm like, I think most of them, a good chunk of them, I've already told at some point here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one that I don't think I have told, and it's one that I was GMing. And so I have very few. We've talked about my history GMing when we did the Gamemasters workshop. I had a little like epiphany that like for a while there I was like, maybe I'm not a decent GM or whatever. Like I was very down on myself because like I haven't really GM'd in a long time. And a lot of me wants to do these big long stories. And all of my like really cool moments as a GM have been like these big long full campaigns. Start at low level, go all the way to the end. Or these like little sections of stories, but then I get so wrapped up in myself and the idea or the whatever, or like something doesn't go right and I'm so hard on myself that I'm like, crap, and then I sit back and then I just I have a hard time finishing what I started. And part of it is also the not playing to my own strengths, trying to do something that I'm not necessarily good at, which I've learned more recently. That was when we did the Game Masters workshop with me and you and Adam and Andrew. Like, I realized that was kind of one of the things. But there was a story I did. This was in what we called, for those that are watching, we were playing D&D 3.5, and we were playing what we lovingly call the Epic game, because we had played it so long that we were above level 20, which is the point of playing Epic. And I was playing a pirate character, and I was running an entire story that was pirate themed on the Pirate Isles of Forgotten Realms. And there is a rule. Hold on, our timer stopped. There is a rule that on there's no violence on the core island, the headquarters island of the Pirate Isles in the Sea of Fallen Stars. There's a rule that there's no fighting on the island. And they're supposedly like a curse, or like Imeric, who was the last pirate king who died years ago, would like come to haunt you. And I was like, that's really cool. I want to develop this. And so the story developed and grew as to try and like, who's going to be this pirate king, and finding this underground thing and whatever. And they found Imeric, and they're on the island, and everybody's there. And I'm playing my character as an NPC. And like, he gets into a fight with this undead, like, lich basically of Imeric, who's fighting my character, and everybody's there just kind of watching this thing. And the story, did you tell the coconut story? I didn't, but we will. We'll get to the coconut story, same world. But so so I'm sitting there fighting, and the idea in my mind is I overemphasize there's no fighting on this, and Imeric will come and kill you. And the challenge here isn't my character fighting that character. It's how long will my character survive. And like 4 rounds went by where my character didn't fight back. And the story, it started out because my character knew what was going on. So that he got cut across the neck, so he couldn't talk. He couldn't say anything. He couldn't communicate with the other players. And so everybody, and this is a large room. This was a table. I think there were 12 people playing in this story. It was an entire weekend long. We started on Friday. This was Sunday. We were playing like 12 or 13 hours a day, all weekend long. Matt traveled like 4 hours to come join us. Brian traveled 4 hours to come join us. A bunch of people all came together for this game. And in the end, our little dopey friend, who usually was high and had like smoke and stuff, and is like great player, love him to death. He's no longer with us to this day. But he looks at everybody, and he, not just his character, but him as a player, looked at everybody else at the table, and he's like, wait a second, you're not supposed to be doing that. And he's saying this out of character and in character. He's like, wait, you're not supposed to be, hey, you're not supposed to be fighting. There's no fighting on this island. It's your goddamn rule. And everybody else is like, oh shit, yeah, that's your rule. And so, like, just in the nick of time, like, that was the final thing. The one guy, the one person out of all the 12 people that I thought was least likely to even know what the fuck was going on for the night was the one person to solve the puzzle of the entire weekend long game. And he solved it. And I was like, that is so fucking cool that he got to have that moment. And that everybody was kind of like, always had doubted him. And he's the one that solved the puzzle. And it was a cool story. And then I found $5.
And the next game, he killed himself 3 rounds in a row by putting his head in a sphere of annihilation.
And so to put into context, there was a sphere of annihilation. He didn't know what it was. He's like, oh, what is this? And he stuck his head in it. And it, annihilated his head. He died. Another player cast Wish to go back around to stop them. They went back around, and he, knowing full well, the player, knowing full well that it would kill him, goes, well, we went back around. So he doesn't know what happens, which means he hasn't had the answer. So he did it again.
Yep.
And then people are like, shit, so then they cast a wish again. Went back in time to do it. And they're like, don't do that. But I really want to know. Sticks his head in it again. It's like, you're killing all our resources.
Yeah, I think like he literally used up. Someone had like a luck blade with all 3 wishes and used all of them up
Yeah.
to keep him from dying.
And then the next time they used it, and then they tackled him so he couldn't stick his head in there.
Yeah. Oh man, that was. Oh.
But it was funny because it was like he was role playing his character, and like,
Yep.
he logically, like if he put his head in there the first time, and you only rewound time, he didn't give him any context. Like nothing changed. So why wouldn't he do it again? He didn't know.
Oh man.
And that was the best thing. Like, he did not use metagame knowledge at all. Which is really, sometimes it's hard to do, especially when you know you're gonna die. Like, I died, but like,
time rewound and nobody's shaking up that hourglass.
Yeah.
Time just reflows and dead.
Yeah, that was freaking hilarious.
Oh.
Matt, what was the time that you got trolled the most? Like, something happened and you were like, fuck. When you were jamming.
Trolled the most?
Who threw you for the loop? Who's like, I have this piece of item you gave me, or I did, you set up this master plan, and they're like, no, done. And you're like, fuck, that was easy.
And so for, like, I think the one that sticks out in my mind the most is had a player that was a wizard, just like a straight up like wizard, and he was getting bored of being a wizard, and he's like, I think I might like, and I think at this point we're like level 16 or 17, and he's like, I think I want to just be like, give up wizardry, and like maybe I'll just become like a ranger in the army, because like I like the wilderness and whatever. And so like he used his money and bought a set of like leather armor that didn't have any like spell resistance, and bought a bow, and he's like, I'm just gonna join the army and be a ranger and just do little army stuff, and I'm not gonna rely on my magic. And I'm like, cool, like this is a great one-on-one game. Let's see what you can do. And we got into like round 3, and he's like, this is terrible, like everyone's dead, I should have been using my magic. I'm gonna teleport away, because of course he's like, well, I'm gonna like limit myself, I'm not gonna take greater teleport, I'm just do normal teleport. And he rolled 100. And in 3.5, 100 is you go to a place that's like basically like 180 degrees different than where you wanted to go.
Yeah, the exact opposite location.
The exact opposite. And he was super beat down because, like, he's like, I'm running with the Rangers. Yeah, but he's like, I got die 4 hit points and a 10 con. Like, I'm getting rocked by like bears. And he like teleports away, and he was like trying to teleport to a local church that could heal him. And it was like the dice that like totally fucked the whole game up. Rolled 100, ends up going to the next nearby temple is literally the head temple of the god of Bane. And the main priest is there, and his weapon hits you, and it does a die 8 plus 8 points of strength damage per hit. And I'm like, and he like went to go right next to the priest that was supposed to heal him. So he's right next to this guy. This guy hits him with the mace, drops him to 0 strength, and the game ends when he's like 0 strength, no spells, wearing armor. So it's like 3 or 4 games later, and he's like a prisoner trying to get out, and he has no magic, and his fingers are all broken, and his tongue's ripped out, and I'm like that was like the biggest dice troll. And then after that, he's like, well, I'm going to stick being a wizard because being a ranger sucks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it derailed his whole master plan of like changing into a non-wizard, because it just the most horribly bad thing that could happen to him did.
How did he get out?
I think someone might have wanted to join the game, and I had them like, they wanted to be like, join the game and be a rogue. And I'm like, cool, you can be a low-level rogue, but guess what? You can pick a lock and try to get you out. And like, you have this broken prisoner with you, but you need allies, and so that was like how they're able to get out.
Okay.
And, like
Nice.
it was, yeah, but it was like they're like, this is like the word, like your character's dead because you decided to no longer be a wizard and had no way to not be a wizard.
I forgot to
But
tell
yeah,
the
just-
I forgot to tell the coconut story. Maybe I'll tell the coconut story after the timer is up.
That works.
I think I'll tell the coconut because it's funny.
So I think one of the stories for me that sticks out in my head, it was at one of the first Con of the North that I was at, and normally when you do like Pathfinder Society or D&D Adventure League, anything like that, people have really powerful niche builds where it's like, I can only do one thing, but when I do this one thing, I do like 900 damage and I can kill all the bad guys in one hit. And this whole dungeon led to this flooded library. And like everyone at the table was pretty, like, we weren't super optimized. Like my wife was playing a Oracle that was all about healing. I was playing a rogue that's all about finding and disabling traps. We had a fighter that was all about like just a standard fighter, plate mail, two-handed sword.
Right.
We had one person that was like nobody was super weird. And then we just had like a cleric, just a straight up cleric of Pharasma that was about healing.
Yeah.
And channeling stuff. And as soon as like this, and the main bad guy's this awakened squid sorcerer. And we're like, dear God, like it's a squid, it has like a 20-foot reach. We're in this flooded library. We're gonna try to hop from like bookshelf to bookshelf. Like this is gonna be terrible, provoking attacks of opportunity, all that crap. And the guy playing the cleric just starts laughing his ass off, like almost like hyperventilating. And it gets it, and the GM's like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Oh, I feel so bad. I think I broke this adventure." And the GM's like, "Oh God, what weird, gishy, broken thing?" And the cleric's like, "Well, I have the water domain, so I can once per day lower water." Like it was nothing like crazy.
Yeah,
no,
nothing crazy.
Just a standard out of the core rule.
And were
book.
people giving him shit for that?
Yeah, because they're like, "Oh, you're not optimized. Why would you take the water domain? It never helps." And he's like, "I dropped the water so it's only 1 inch deep, and the squid literally suffocates to death." Like that was though we defeated this big nasty baddie that would have wiped the floor with most of us because someone playing a non-optimized build took a power that like the GM had been around for like 6 years during Society and has been running like Gen Con, PaizoCon, was like a 5-star at that point.
Yeah.
And he was like, I have never seen anyone like this isn't like breaking the game. You're using an ability that nobody ever takes because it's so suboptimal. And it proved why things that are suboptimal make sense. Like, and I thought that was a great point of you don't have to be badass
So you see
because
that guy
things you
shows
have
up and swings
will
at
show
you,
up.
and it scrapes across your armor as you cast your spell.
Cool. Mithril breastplate, bitch.
Cheers,
Mithril
Octavius.
breastplate, bitch.
Mithril breastplate, bitch. Hello, Octavius. Welcome on in. Hope you are doing well. We're telling some gaming stories here for the last 31 seconds. I'm going to quick tell the coconut story, but we're telling gaming stories as our last main topic. Then we're going to do some potluck. How are you doing, Octavius? Hopefully your day is going well. Hopefully you're feeling well. I know Octavius is going to have a little bit of a slower streaming week this week, so hopefully he can recoup a little bit. He's been busy as hell. And congratulations to Octavius. He's almost at 800 followers. So I think last I saw he was like 740. So yeah, congratulations to Octavius. He's going to be doing a celebration stream here coming up. Bentley's going to be doing a celebration stream coming up as well. Bentley recently hitting 500 followers. So both of those, that's going to be, let me see here. Let me see. Let me pull it up. I've got it. It's right here somewhere. Where is it? There we go. So yeah, Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central Time, Bentley is going to be doing a 500 follower celebration and a 2 years stream anniversary. So, so yeah, we'll do here. Let me do the shout outs. We'll hype this up, guys. We got to hype this up. So there's Bentley. We'll play the little thing there. Is it going to play a clip?
It's
Not
like
gonna play.
army crawl on
There
the
we go.
floor.
Oh, that would also work.
Catherine Zeta-Jones, this bitch. Oh, there your shorts are. There's your shorts. Steven, clip!
Victory!
Steven!
Victory!
And Bentley's not even in the clip.
That chaos rain!
Like chaos rain!
Bentley's not even in the clip. Bentley would be in the dark spot in the upper left-hand corner. But yeah, Bentley's going to be doing their 500th celebration and 2-year stream anniversary at 5 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Pacific on Bentley's stream. And then later on in that day, on Wednesday, of course, we'll be doing Stolen Souls. But Bentley's later on, earlier on in the day. Octavius is going to be doing his 700 follower celebration at 11 a.m., 9 a.m. Pacific. So Wednesday is all of the things. So make sure to go and do all of the things. Make sure to click on their links. Let me get the Octavius's little shout out. Octavius. Boom, there it is. Octavius.
You know who I am, I'm too hot. Don't believe me, just watch.
So I didn't know somebody clipped that. Maybe I clipped it. I don't know. But yeah, go and check out Octavius. Also on Wednesday, 700 follower celebration. Going to be celebrating that at 11 a.m., 9 a.m. Pacific. 11 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Pacific. Twitch.tv/Oct8 VS Octavius. And of course, Tuesday he's doing some Diablo 4 co-stream with a dash of nerd. And of course, Monday, which is today, right now, Bentley is streaming as well. Bentley's up to 562 even. Nice. Awesome. Yeah, they're awesome. And they're two of my main mods. Those two and Curly Girl, of course, are my two senior mods, as we say, as I'm saying. So thank you so much to the both of them. Go and check them both out. They're both awesome. They're both amazing. They both do awesome and fun streams. So check it out, yo. And again, Octavius, thank you for swinging in. So the coconut story, Matt, have I told you the coconut story?
I do not believe so.
So the coconut story, it's set in the world of the Epic game, right? So I wanted to role play, and Brian had his Brian Fitzpatrick character that was kind of in the world, but it wasn't really part of the current crew of stuff. And I was playing my pirate, and I was like, I want to run something. And my little cousin Dan had never roleplayed before. He didn't know anything about roleplaying, but he was interested. He was hanging out because he wanted to do stuff. He didn't really have anyone to hang out with or anything to do. And so I was like, come and learn how to roleplay, because I wanted to teach people how to roleplay, and I really wanted to spread that within our own family. So my little cousin came, and I invited Rolana Halo, who I had just met that year, and Brian, aka Rockheim, had come to join us. And so Rockheim he decided to play this character named Connor. This is the creation of Connor. And Rolana Halo, what was your aquatic elf's name? I don't remember the aquatic elf's name. Matt, do you remember the aquatic elf's name?
I don't.
So at any rate, he was playing Connor, who ended up being my cohort, which is kind of weird because he wasn't really my cohort. He was like just there and was like a crew member that was Adriel. That's right, Adriel. So Rolana Halo was playing this aquatic elf, and Brian was playing this bard, and they were all playing like kind of characters on this ship. And my cousin was playing, I think, a ranger. And they were on this island, and they were like first level, and my character was Captain Max Dragonfly, and they were just like crew members on the ship. And they were on this beach, and they were like, playing. And normally when you're like, hey, skeletons show up, everyone's like, experience play. I draw my sword. It's combat time. Let's fight. And we rolled an ish, and my cousin went first. And he goes, fucking skeletons? Fuck this. And he ran. he ran and climbed up a tree to get away from them because they're skeletons, and skeletons are scary. Like if you saw a skeleton in real life, you would turn. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're freaking Brock Lesnar. You're like, skeleton, I turn and run. That stuff's scary on a primal level. That's terrifying. And we're like, for me as the GM and a person who had been playing now at that point for like 10 years, I was like, this is so weird. Yeah, he kept asking, why don't they have muscles? How do they move? It's like magic, weird necromancy stuff. And, you know, that was something super refreshing to see, is like, wait a second. Yeah, why don't all of our characters, when we first run across shit like that, turn tail and run? Because it's terrifying. But people who have been playing, like, roll an ish. Okay, we roll an ish, combat starts, we attack, you know, whatever. No, he turns and runs. And so all of them, everybody, like, we were all inspired by his, like, this makes sense. So they, both Connor and Rolana Hale, like, yeah, we run, and they go up trees, and they got up the trees. And they're like, what do we do? I don't know. Let's throw coconuts at them. And so they started throwing coconuts at them. But coconuts are bludgeoning damage.
Yep.
And so they killed the skeletons with the coconuts from the coconut
That's
tree.
amazing.
Like, this is not what I was expecting. This is not where I thought they were going. But it was fucking hilarious. Yeah. Why did he have muscles? How are the bones moving? They don't have muscle. This doesn't make sense. You know, because he was only like 12, maybe at the time, maybe 10, trying to figure it out. But yeah. So, but he was into it, and he was having a lot of fun, and he still to this day he remembers that. That's core memory. Bling.
Nice.
So that's the coconut story. So they were throwing coconuts at skeletons, and they do bludgeoning. Yeah, and then they came back and they loaded up the ship with coconuts. They're like, why the fuck are you bringing coconuts on? In case there's skeletons.
That's awesome. We I mean, kind of related to that, the whole idea of like a new character. I have a game that I'm in that also the blind GM is in, and the GM had us all start out like, we have no combat, like most of us don't have gear, like we have slings or quarterstaffs, like things that normal townspeople would have, which I thought was like kind of cool.
Yeah.
And like a fight breaks out and one of the characters kills someone, and then the GM's like, so you see them dead, and like role played up that fact that like, you just killed a person, how are you handling that? And I'm like that's another one of those like yeah, like okay, you have to fight an undead, cool, like you kill them, but you know they're not living. But when it's like a bandit or a guard or something like that,
right,
like how, like as a player, how do you handle the fact that you just took someone's life?
Yeah.
And like that was like an eye-opening experience. And yeah, like newest GM, like newest player that did it. Well, then, you know, games have gone by, and like we joke around, you like rolling stats, like you might as well just take 10s because you'll get better than what you would if you just try to roll. One of the players is playing a bard and uses spells.
And by you mean me, right?
I mean you. Yeah.
For those that are listening, he doesn't mean you as in general you. He means you as in Nick, Epic Realms.
Nick.
Might as well just put a 10 in all of my stats because I'm going to roll worse.
Yeah.
For context for people, because again, we're old. In second edition D&D, when you made a character, there wasn't like a point buy system. There wasn't a stat thing. You roll 3 6-sided dice.
That's
and
what
you
you
put
got.
them in order. Like you rolled the 3 6-sided dice, that was your strength. Roll 3 6-sided dice, that was your dex. Roll 3 6-sided dice, that was your con. Once you rolled them all, that was your character. And you did just decide, like that was the first thing you did when building a character. And me, it would be like 5, 2, 3, 7, 12. I'd get a 12 in there, and I'd be like, what the fuck am I playing? Well, I guess I'm playing a fighter again.
Yeah.
And like, if you got to play a paladin, because the requirements are like, you need a 16 in this, you need a 16 in this, you need a 15 in this, you need a 14 in this, you need a 13 in this. Nobody played a paladin, because nobody could roll those goddamn stats.
Yep.
And eventually they started humoring me and they're like, okay, we're gonna roll 4 dice, take the best 3, and I still would be like, well, I got a 13 and a 10 on this.
Yeah, your luck was terrible.
So
but
bad.
your luck reminded me of one of the guys in this game is playing a bard, and he has like some sonic spells like you do as a bard. But he'd be like, oh, here's like a 5th level spell, and I do like 4 damage. I do like just the worst rolls that you've seen for doing damage. Well, 2 games ago, like people are surrounding him, and it's like commoners and guards. And he's like, I'm just gonna do this spell. Like, I know my damage is gonna suck, but if they take damage, they get pushed back 10 feet. And he was just trying to like create space. And he rolled 6s. It was like 5 dice. 4 of them were 6s, and the other one was a 5. So he does like 29 damage and kills everyone in a 20-foot radius around him.
Oh man.
And like the GM's like, you just killed like 24 people. And he's like, what? He's like, my spells don't do that much damage. We're like, no, they do. You just roll terrible. I'm like, and like, so now he's like, I'm like running away, but I'm gonna like turn myself into the cops. Like what do I do? I'm like, I'm not a murderer. Like, what are the consequences? How do I get around this? And yeah, it was like to see that light bulb moment. Like, I have just like I am Jack the Ripper of this town, because in one afternoon I killed 24 people in an instant.
Yeah, that's one thing that was always hard for me in like a D&D Pathfinder. I'm gonna start the timer on Potluck.
Okay.
Because we're not really on game. That was a gaming story, but I'm switching gears.
Yep.
But we're gonna start the timer. So one of the things that always kind of got me with like a D&D Pathfinder setting is consequences of your actions. Because at what point in storyline, like, okay, you're level 13 characters and you go into a town. What's to stop you from just murdering half the town? The guards are only level 3. You know? So it's like, it's always really hard, like, to not just drop the hammer down and be like, Elminster shows up and kicks your ass. Like, you can't do that for every game, for every time when you have a bunch of trolley players that just want to murder hobo things. Like, so you have to come up with good ways to do that, or sometimes they just want to be, you know, bad guys, but at the same time, like, how do you go about, like, it's really hard, challenging to go like, okay, the guards show up, okay, I kill all the guards, they're level 3. What are the guards gonna do? Come in, you fiend, we're gonna take you into jail for murdering the barkeep and his 5 people and stealing all his money, and now you just killed the 4 guards that, you know, and what do you do? You put a level 14, you put 12, 14th level guards that show up, and then the players, like, then it's a challenge, but they're all guards, so the wizard just like mind controls them because they're all fighter, you know.
I think Monkey Swag is like yeah, you murder the town, but eventually someone shows up. Like, eventually people look into like what destroyed this town. The lord or lady of the land sends an inquisitor, or, you know, like, you kill enough people, you are the war crime. You are the people that like dragons now are hunting, or like other super nasty, or just other heroes.
But still, when you look like a World of Eberron, where the king is 8th level, and he's like the most powerful person in the world.
Yeah, that is with Eberron, that is definitely an interesting thing when they say like, yep, like the biggest hero is level 9. But once you get over that, you're not the biggest hero on the planet. What can stop you?
Right.
And
that becomes like a hard thing, you know, unless, like, obviously when you're playing with experienced players, like, they know the role. They're not gonna be dicks and be like, I'm just gonna kill everyone because I can. You know, let's be honest, in the Sandpoint game, like, yeah, but if randomly Maractus decide he's gonna teleport into a town and just murder everybody in the town, there's not really a lot that's gonna stop him. Nope. And it's gonna be hard to catch him and find, you know, whatever, if he decides to do that. Like, obviously he's not gonna do that. But pretty much for everybody in that game, like, almost everybody in that game could literally just take over the world and just start murdering people in towns and taking over cities and countries. There's not really a lot that can stop them. Like, you know, Corvosa sends an army, fine, we'll just send Baldur by himself and Baldur will just wipe out the army.
That's when they just start using just only troops.
Right. Yeah.
And honestly, like thinking of Pathfinder specifically, I have a feeling that might be one of the reasons why they made troops.
Yeah.
Like and especially because troops first appeared in society games when players would just destroy everything. Oh, well, when you're up against 4 troops and they auto do damage, now you can't wipe the floor like you could if it was 20 individual level 1s.
Right. Exactly. Unless those 20 individual level 1s were all level 1 wizards with magic missile.
Oh, I wish I would have remembered that when we were in story time. Well, whatever. We're in the random. I'm telling the story.
Tell the story.
One of the players in the game I was running was attacking a wizard school, and the different rooms were set up by schools of magic. And I had a little schedule, and he was going into the classroom where they were teaching magic missile to the wizards, and he runs in and he just
wait,
murders.
I want to give a little back thing. This is
Okay.
the guy that we were talking about earlier with Mountain Plate. He was basically indestructible. He was a walking tank. He was too high level to hit. His AC was too high. He had too many hit points for anyone to go into combat with. He had like all of this stuff, and like to hit him was damn near impossible unless you had a touch attack for the most part. And even then, it was still pretty hard.
Yeah. So, and like he hated magic users. So he runs into this class, and I don't even remember what he had against this teacher, but he like damn near killed the teacher in one hit. And the teacher just had to like use his magic to like move away. And all of the students are in there, and he's like, how many kids are or how many students there? I'm like, oh, there's like 30. And he's like, okay, well, whatever. Like, I'll take care of all of them later. And he like
Yeah, because
threatened
they're all
the
level
kids.
1 students.
Yeah, so the students just all go magic missile, and he takes 30d4 plus 30 damage. He's like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "Well, like I have it. Like here's where they're learn a magic missile." And then next round, he's like, "Oh well, they have to be out soon." And I'm like, "Well, they get like 3 spells at level 1, so." And he like next round takes like another 30d4 plus 30, and then he's like running away from the swarm of students, like getting ready to throw magic missiles at him. Oh, it was great.
You learned a
Well, then
learned a very valuable lesson there.
Well, and then even then, like the teacher, I had the teacher run away, and the teacher just disintegrated the floor behind him. And he's like, "Well, I'll just run and jump over because I'm strong." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you have like
5.
Your movement's a 5, so you're like a -10 to your roll, and your mountain plate's like another -10 to, and he just like runs and just like falls like off the ledge and just falls out of the building. And I'm like, well, so you're done now, like. What are you gonna do? Get beat up by more level 1 wizards?
He got beat up by a bunch of kids.
Yep. Oh, it was great.
I hope
it was
he's not
a
in chat right now.
humility moment.
It was. I don't think I ever, when in all of our time role playing, I don't think I ever did anything like that.
Nothing like that, no.
I think the closest was I was there when one of our other people we didn't expect to do that was like, holds the gun to me and shoots a hole in my hand because we tried to stop him from doing something really horrible. We won't go into detail of the horrible thing he was going to do, but
yeah,
Dumbledore's army took out Voldemort.
Yeah, 100%, exactly like that. Just the numbers game gets you at the end.
Yeah, it's a great way to do it. Just a bunch of 100 level 1.
They just point their fingers and just the damage rolls through.
Maybe we'll revisit that in the when I start doing the live stream. By the way, guys that are in here, obviously the live stream interactive where you guys get to play in there is getting pushed back. It's getting pushed back because we're not going to do it until I start doing this full time, and then we'll probably start working on that because then I will have the time to work on that and get it scheduled. Because shit's busy in the summer, yo.
It's amazing how much time it takes to set something up, even with like the great tools like Dungeon Alchemy and Roll20 but it takes time.
Yeah. I want to pull in the map because I built that map in Dungeon Alchemist.
Yep.
And I want to pull that into Photoshop and actually make like a key in the bottom right-hand corner. So that it says what all the shops were and stuff. We don't F with the turfs, but yeah, point was made. Yeah. Are you looking forward to any games coming up?
For
that you can talk about? Anything?
Oh, I have a game for one of our players in Shadow Lodge that I was hoping to have done last week. And like I've had this game set up for about 8 months now. And like the worst, because he has a young child, and every time we have something set on the schedule, like his kid gets sick, his house gets struck by lightning, someone drives a forklift into his wife's car. It's just like the worst luck. And I'm like, I just want to run this game because I have such a great idea and I just want to run it. And it's just like two choices, but it's a baddie that he's going to face that he accidentally summoned. It's a demonic Tyrannosaurus Rex. And like this thing has been plaguing him for levels now. And I'm like, this is the final showdown. The final showdown of the T-Rex and the wizard that accidentally summoned him into our world.
It's the final showdown.
It's the final. Yeah. And I am so excited to run this thing. And I'm like, and I was gonna like today. I'm like, yep, let's get ready. I'm gonna send him a thing if he's available, and he sends me a message. My wife's ready to give birth any day now, and I'm like, no, like I can't do it.
Right? Be like, you're sitting there like, okay, roll initiative, push. No, roll fucking initiative.
Yeah, Monkey, I had you help me with this T-Rex. Yeah. I am just so waiting just to do this game because I have just a cool plan for it. And like it's like 8 months in like I've been working at it 8 months because I just keep adding stuff to it now. Because like it comes in my mind, I'm like, oh, I can tweak this, I can change this spell, I can mess with this tactic. But yeah, like the start of the game is literally a gate's gonna open up and the T-Rex is gonna bite him through the gate and pull him in. Because the T-Rex is a half fiend, because that was what he rolled when he accidentally like tried to do the summon and the thing messed him up. Well, it has enough hit dice, it gets gate.
Nice.
So that's how it's going to open. It's literally going to open and pull him into the adventure. So like no matter where he was, it pulls him straight into the encounter. And I'm like, just start the adventure like that. I'm like, that's just like a way to like, you're not prepared. Like, what spells do you have after you take your crap in the morning?
Yeah.
Probably nothing. So yeah, that's something that I'm really excited to run.
That's great.
How about you?
Did you read any of the D&D books after you watched the movie? Have you read any of those yet?
I actually have not. I kind of spaced them because my wife wants to watch the movies again. So I'm like, oh, I'll watch those movies first. Because when she saw it, she was in the front row of the movie theater.
Okay.
Because she was down with friends in Iowa, and she's like, that's the worst plot to see a movie, which it is.
Yeah.
Because
you like
so
this.
yeah. So yeah, we're gonna watch that again, and I'll probably read the books.
You should read the books before you watch it.
Oh, true.
It makes a lot of sense.
Rumor is, and I saw today that they're starting the groundwork for the second movie.
Are they?
And it's gonna follow the druid more.
Because I heard that I heard that they didn't make enough for a second movie, but I also heard that there was enough groundswell and enough popularity from it that they figured that a sequel might actually make more money than the original.
Yeah, so it sounds like it made 50 million more than it cost. However, the sound is for the second one, in order to kind of drum it up, they might try to have some cameos of like maybe a Drist or whatever, and then like a movie 3, 4 would just be in the world.
Yeah.
But then you have your Drist movie rather than characters that had no real connection to the world except, Elminster's grandkid or whatever it was.
Yeah. Well, and technically Elminster shows up.
Kind of ish, yeah.
Because he's in the magic. He's like
That's
a
true.
piece of his consciousness is in that magic item.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that. I thought it was a good, and like how it translated. Yeah, I really liked the D&D movie. I
did as well. I had a lot of fun. I don't know anybody in chat who had maybe watched the movie or not, but it was a lot of fun because it felt like a D&D movie, but it also felt like a D&D game. It felt like you were watching a group of people. Like if you ever watched the WWE where they tell the stories and you see the little cartoon,
Yes.
And it feels like that. Like it's like they took all the cut scenes of what happened. Like you see the people at the players at the table saying, I do this, and then it cuts to a clip from a section of the movie, and then it cuts to the players. But they cut out all the player parts and they just played the movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of what it felt like.
The thing for me, I feel like the other movies try to be too serious. Like we're D&D, but we're making Lord of the Rings.
Right. And that's what I was
Like
hoping
this.
for. I was hoping for more of a Lord of the Rings, and then I saw it, and I was like, no, this was perfect. This is exactly what we need for a D&D movie. Because it's D&D, and if you want to make people understand how it feels to be at a table, it can be fucking stupid at times.
Yeah. Like it reminds me of that meme. It's like how your D&D game starts and it shows like the Lord of the Ring cast. It's like, but how your D&D game ends and it shows like the Monty Python people running with the coconuts.
Right.
And
it was enough. There was enough seriousness, and it didn't go too over the top with the silliness that it made it still feel D&D-ish. You know, they didn't make it stupid, because they could have done that. It could have just been dumb.
It could have been too much over the edge. What I liked it from a lore perspective, being a person that's read like everything up through like the fourth ed like novels, is they brought in places like the prison up north, Shaz-Tam, all the stuff that he did with Thay, the Harpers, the different keeps, the different gods, Neverwinter. Like they brought in all of this really great lore, and it was just done in the background.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have to explain what a bird person was. They're just bird people in the world. They're there. You don't have to worry about them.
Yeah.
Like same with all the races. It wasn't like oh my God, that's a dwarf, that's an elf, that's a. They were just people.
They don't have to explain to the audience everything. That's there. It's a monster. It's a fantasy world. They get it. Like if you're going to see it, you get it. And even if you don't play D&D, it's like, okay, that's some sort of weird monster thing in this fantasy world. No big deal.
Yeah, and it's a movie where I feel you don't have to be a D&D player to like, if you like the fantasy or the medieval genre,
right?
You can watch this movie, have no knowledge about D&D, the Forgotten Realms, anything, and it is still a very fun, very well done watch.
Blind GM goes, shame it didn't have Jeremy Irons though.
He was the worst part. He was so bad.
He was intentionally bad though. Like
that's the problem, because he needed a new pool.
He was sitting there and he goes, "This is going to be such a horrible movie. I don't fucking care."
Yeah.
Because I love Jeremy Irons. He's a great actor, but he, he was the only part worth watching. That's not saying much for that movie.
Yeah.
Like, what's the best part of that movie? Well, you remember that part where the horse took a crap? That was the best part of the movie. I paused it on there so I didn't have to watch the rest of it.
That's my screensaver.
That's my screensaver. The horse poop. Yeah, I really loved the movie, and I loved the books. For those that don't know, the books, there's 2 books, and one of them follows like the backstory of the druid, and it explains. I loved how that book explains, because a lot of people were like shitting like druids can't wild shape into an owl bear. I don't know, Matt. If we were role playing and I said, "Hey, I got this really cool idea and this cool backstory, will you let me wild shape into one magic, non-typical creature?" Then maybe you might say, I mean, you probably tell me no, but you tell somebody else yes.
No. Like I would probably tell you. I'd be like, well, yeah, but your bite's going to do the same damage as a bear. You're literally reskinning the thing you can already do. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like it's just a visual thing. Cool visual thing.
And that's the thing. Like I feel so in the book, that's kind of how it feels. It feels like in the novel that they explain, like, because they say the other druids are like, you're not supposed to be able to wild shape into an owl bear. It's not an animal. She's like, it's just an animal. Like in her mind's eye, because she saw it in like in its moment, and she had like this connection to this owl bear she saw, and to her it was just an animal. It was just a thing trying to survive in the world with everyone else. And in her mind's eye and her heart, it felt like it was no different than a regular bear or an owl or a mouse. And so to that end, like it made it seem like the GM made an exception in this story moment. And it was kind of cool. And while in the movie they didn't really touch on that, in the book they did.
That's cool.
And
I one thing that I like about the movie is the one of the head writers was the actor
From Bones?
God, what's it? Yeah, from Bones. John Francis Daly.
Yeah.
And like he's a gamer.
Yeah.
So he's like we introduced the players to D&D and we had
The
them
actors, yeah.
the actors and we had them play some sessions and like to like get like this is what it's about and this is what we're trying to make and show in the game or in the movie. And I'm like, that's cool to give people that, that little feeling.
Yeah.
I really wish for like ideas of cameos, I really wish we would have seen Vin Diesel like cameo as Minsk and Boo.
He would be a pretty he'd be a short mince, but yeah,
he'd be a short mince, but like he's noticeable. He's a big gamer fan. Like he's all into D&D and role playing. Like
Right.
I thought that would have been a very great cameo. Like even if he doesn't say anything, he just walks by and you notice him and like the hamster or like the daughter says something about that. Like anything, just to be like, I know who that is without knowing who it is.
Right.
And just be like, is it a breadcrumb? Are we going to see him? Who cares? It's just a fun little thing.
Blind GM. Vin as Minsk is my new obsession. Right. Right. Yeah. I would love. I liked there were some fun cameos in there as well. Fun little cameos and stories, and I loved the characters. Speaking of D&D, apparently they're making a Dragonlance TV series.
I had heard that. I don't know if it's
Joe Manganiello is in charge. He's the one producing.
Oh, that's right. That's where I'd heard it. Is he's doing that? And Blind Jim, you might know because you're a big Dragonlance fan. Do you know if it's like in the first war, second war? What? Do you know when they're setting it?
I don't think they have said anything. I just know that they've talked about having the thing. War of the Lance.
It is War of the Lance. Nice.
I don't know anything about Dragonlance. It's like the only thing that probably the only like D&D books that I didn't really get into was Dragonlance. I know Blind GM was a huge Dragonlance person. I never was. I was always a Forgotten Realms and Ravenloft. God, I love a Ravenloft movie.
They already did. It's called Castlevania on Netflix.
Yeah, maybe one of these days they'll actually finish it.
Oh, it's
one
so
episode
good.
every like 6 months.
Oh, so good.
It is good. It is good.
So the only thing I read the Dragonlance books, I enjoyed them, but I read them really young. Like I think I might have been like 9 or 10, maybe 11, like really young. My wife recently read them, and she's like I just like hear from the other room. Did you know dragon fear causes you to run away in fear? Because like they just repeat that every time like a dragon flies overhead. Dragon fear causes you to run away in fear. It's just like that's like an ongoing thing now. Whenever something repeats, like even in other books or whatever, dragon fear causes you to run away in fear. And I'm like, oh, she must be really pissed off at that. Whatever she's reading, because dragon fear only comes in when she's real pissed off.
When it's something that's so blatantly like no fucking shit.
Yeah. Yep.
And people know that means something because I swore, because I don't normally swear very often.
Exactly.
It's like no shit that they do that. I think for me, there's a level of swearing. Like I'll say shit from time to time, but like if I drop an F-bomb, it's either because I stubbed my toe, I'm trying to be like overemphasize something, or I'm really pissed off. Or I've been around a bunch of people that are all swearing all the time.
Yeah, so like I enjoy swearing, but like my parents like were just like dropping F-bombs and stuff when I was young. Like it just was a thing how they talked. But what I really like now being an adult is like listening to Taylor Swift. I enjoy Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Her latest album, there's the Midnight Edition and then the 3 a.m. edition. And the 3 a.m. edition is with all of the adult words that are pulled out for radio edit. So you get to hear her say like shit, damn, fuck, bastard, like these things. You're like, oh, like how dare you say that as a 37-year-old woman? dare you swear?
But it's Taylor Swift, so it's like,
But
you know, it's America's sweetheart. Can't swear.
Yes. But then also like on the flip side, I like listening to British music, and there's this wonderful singer named Maisie Peters. She's like 22, and she loves to use the word fuck, and she sings it so melodically. It's like, oh, that's what an angel sounds like swearing. Ah. And like listening to her new LP, I'm just like I could listen to her swear all day.
Somebody clip that.
Yep.
I could listen to her swear all day.
Swear all day. Put in a nice like 100 points. I'll just keep redeeming that.
This is what it sounds like when doves cry. Do 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 do.
Is that what the
my when we're driving, me and my wife are driving, every time a Prince song comes on, I change the song to be about Roman Reigns from WWE.
Oh, that's awesome.
So obviously Purple Rain is an easy one because you're like,
yep.
Roman Reigns.
Yep.
But yeah, it was like Little Red Corvette, When Doves Cry. Like, I'll sit there and I'm like, okay, how can I reword this to be about Roman Reigns? And then I'll come up
So
with
how do you reword Little Red Corvette? Because that's the one that came to my mind.
I want to say it's like, big Superman punch, da 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 da, knock it out your cousins.
I like that. Yes.
You know, or something along those lines, you know.
Speaking of Prince, like, you know, being in Minnesota, I am very upset that when he was alive and even his estate, they don't allow a lot of his music on YouTube, which pisses me off because I have YouTube Premium and YouTube Music, and that's how I listen to all of my music.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't listen
SoundCloud.
Legally to any Prince stuff.
SoundCloud, baby. SoundCloud.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something. But yeah, I'm just like that just pisses me off.
Animaniacs reference for anybody who knows Animaniacs and knows the Prince reference.
Oh, that's a high level adult thing that you don't get right away.
It is. When you're a kid, you don't get it. Blind GM knows it, I'm sure. But yeah. Look for fingerprints or look for prints. Look, I found prints. No, I mean fingerprints. Ew.
Yep. So did you go to that one to your parents' blind GM when you learned what it was?
That's probably how he learned what it was. They were like, "Oh, this is the joke." Probably.
You're like Mama GM, Papa GM.
Just fingering Mama GM, Papa GM.
Why is the rum always gone?
Why is the rum always gone?
No. Cinnamon whiskey's almost gone.
My rum's not almost gone, but I got to pee so bad.
In fact, it is how he learned. So yes, he did go to Papa GM and Mama GM.
I've had a few to drink, so I'm going to ask, did they like demonstrate? No, I can't.
Nope.
I can't.
Nope.
I can't. I can't finish that sentence.
I know Mama and Papa GM.
I know, that's why I can't finish the goddamn sentence. Even if I've been drinking. I can't do it. Otherwise, those Matt's like, nope, I'm going to finish this drink. Just going to down the whole thing. Nope, can't do it. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. I'm all ears. All ears.
Oh.
So tomorrow, everyone, what is the game? What is the game we're playing? Tomorrow we are playing...
do you know?
Only Up. We're playing Only Up is what it's called. Mucky McFly gifted it to me. So we're going to be playing Only Up tomorrow. You just constantly climbing the world. And it's supposed to be a really irritating game. Octavius tried playing it and he was just swearing a storm and he was yelling and whatever. And your goal is to not fall because then you start over and you have to start climbing all over again. But I was watching him. But I was watching him play it and I was like, this is a really cool looking game. It's a gorgeous looking game. It looks like a lot of fun. No saving. Yeah, no saving. When you fall, you're fucking done. You start over.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to play Only Up. Monkey McFly gifted it to me. He gifted it to me because I said I thought that it looked like a fun game. Like, I thought it looked cool. And so he gifted it to me literally yesterday while I was streaming. So we're going to be playing Only Up tomorrow, not Dead by Daylight. We're going to do Only Up and try it out and see how it is. we're gonna see if I can get farther than Octavius, and you guys can clip me falling to my death, and then you can play that clip "Dumb Ways to Die," and or any of the other ones. So yeah. So he got that for me, and it's a good game, and I'm super excited for it.
So I got that going, which is nice.
So I got that going for me, which is nice.
Yep.
So that is tomorrow. Sometimes falling isn't that bad unless it yeets you off something you're trying to land on. Yeah, so if you fall, if you land on something underneath you, you land on something underneath you, you can continue back up. But he fell and he went, and the game went,
Oh.
And he's like, no!
Damn. Yeah, I could see that getting a little rough.
Yeah. So we had Saltavius was a little irritated about that, but so yeah, that's gonna be tomorrow. We're gonna do that, and of course, Wednesday is the Stolen Souls campaign. Matt, right here to my left, is going to be running the Stolen Souls campaign. We're gonna see what's gonna happen to that world. It's in the unified Galarian world. It takes place in the same world as the Old School 3, which eventually we'll have to, because we took time off from Old School 3 because of the blind GM. We took the next time off because it was me. I had to cancel or something, and then the blind GM was out of town, and then your flight was canceled, and you had to drive home instead of flying home.
God, that was terrible.
So we're behind 3 worlds in the Old School 3 campaign. So we'll return to that in 2 weeks. 2 weeks we return to that. Tomorrow is this Wednesday is Stolen Souls. So yeah, Rolana Halo and Monkey Swag will be joining us. Curly Girl will be joining us. Rockheim will be joining us, and we're going to be doing that. I'll be running it in the background. Matt is going to take spicy chips. I'll take them too. For every hype train we get on Wednesday, because he's got the spicy chips, so he's going to participate in the hype train challenge this Wednesday. So if you are with us on Wednesday, you can take the spicy chips hype train thinger-madinger to get the hype train running on Wednesday as well. That will be an option. I don't know, anything else, Matt?
Yeah, Shy. Every time, if you get hot chips, and if you have a hot chip with every hot chip that Nick and I have, I will give you an additional follower and mythic point for the game. That's the benefit of if you want to join us on this painful hot chip challenge.
If you want a hot chip, there you go, Shy. Rolana Halo, go and buy yourself some spicy chips. I'll do it. You'll do it? Okay. That's it.
We got 3 of us.
So Wednesday, 3 people will do hot chips. It's not a good idea. I must
Monkey
participate.
Swag. I'll give Enosh extra facial butt flaps for each chip you have.
Monkey Swag, you need to go get those chips for Rolana Halo. So Wednesday, there will be 3 of us doing the spicy chips for the hype train. So if we do hype trains, there will be 3 of us doing it. Or a pick. Here's your pick right here.
I'm sending it right now.
Packy, 1 chip. The gas stations will have the individual bags. The grocery stores will have the full bags. So there you go, guys. Preview. You need to be here on Wednesday for the spicy chips. There'll be 3 people doing spicy chips. The GM, Rolana Halo. Monkey Swag says she's the most Minnesota palette ever. Oh, God. I will DoorDash it if I have to. Blind GM will DoorDash it to you. But we need to hit the hype trains. We need to hit complete levels of hype trains for Wednesday in order for it to happen. So that is the thing. Rockheim, are you ready to use the holy weapon? Yeah, I'm gonna die. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So there we go.
Gonna be good times.
Be good times. Where's my money? Let me hype train myself.
Yeah, I guess we won't see you crying on screen.
Well, I'll pull up the thing in the middle maybe and do it so people can see me
that
take
works.
the chip. But I will, so they can at least see me take the chip, so they know that I took it, and then I'll be crying with the screen off.
That works.
Yeah, 3 of us this Wednesday doing the spicy chip. Maybe 4 if Monkey Swag wants to get floppy butt cheek face things, whatever that.
Facial butt flaps.
Facial butt flaps. Oh my gosh, definitely don't need rolls on my ass. Oh my gosh. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for hanging out for Off the Pod. Guys, next week we're going to have Gabrielle Harbaway. 1 week from tonight, Gabrielle Harbaway is an editor for Ed Greenwood. Eric's got to be Chris Jackson. She has got a lot of novellas that she's written herself, short stories she's written herself. Amazing. She's worked on game design. She's edited for tabletop RPG companies. She's done all kinds of stuff. She's an amazing, amazing human being. I met her at Gen Con last year, and it was a lot of fun hanging out with her. So next week, 1 week from tonight, Gabrielle Harbaway is going to be joining us for the podcast. So you make sure you want to come and join us for that episode. It's going to be awesome. A week after that, we're going to be joined on Off the Pod by Mark Eberhardt. By Mark from Fight in the Box. That's why I always say Mark from Fight in the Box. He's going to be joining us for Off the Pod in 2 weeks. He also is a podcaster. He's got 3 podcasts, live stream podcasts. He has some Star Wars Coruscant Nights, Tales from the Outer Rim, and one other podcast. He does all kinds of podcast stuff, as well as working for Fight in the Box. He's also an illustrator and artist, so he's going to be joining us for Off the Pod in 2 weeks. In 3 weeks from now, the author of The Bird Box, which is an amazing movie, nice little scary horror movie, the author of that book is going to be joining us in 3 weeks here on the podcast to promote his new novella, and his name is Josh Mallerman. He's going to be joining us in 3 weeks, so you definitely want to join us for the podcast interview with Josh Mallerman. Did I say that right? Josh Mallerman. Yeah, Josh Mallerman. You need to definitely make sure to join us for that. That is going to be super freaking awesome. We're going to have Supernatural Writer, who's another streamer, is going to be joining us for Off the Pod. We're going to be having Scott Innes, who is the voice of Scooby-Doo, coming up down the road for the podcast. So just all kinds of cool stuff going on. We're probably going to have Kirsten White coming back as well. So if you enjoyed the author known as Kirsten White, who did the Hyde book, we had her on. She's a New York Times best-selling author. Lots of young adult, kids books, horror, suspense books. She's got a new book coming out, and they reached out to me to have her back on the show. And I was like, yes, she was an amazing guest. A lot of fun, really cool person. So Kirsten White's going to be coming back. We're still working out dates on that, but Kirsten White's going to be coming back to join us, and all kinds of other people. So make sure to come back. DL Soria is going to be joining us in the podcast. We got a lot of people coming on the podcast, a lot of stuff in the works. And of course, next month in August, we're going to have a full week of streams from you from here on out. One month from now, next August, you're going to get full-time Epic Realms. Every day of the weekday, you're going to have an Epic Realms stream. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We're going to have daytime streams on Thursday and Friday. Nick's going to be done with his full-time job and doing this all the time for all of you. So make sure to join us. Give the follow, like, subscribe, all of that on the podcasts here on Twitch, YouTube. Don't forget the YouTube. This will be on YouTube in 60 days. So thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. We're going to do a little raid out and a certain Sunday thing at the end of the month. Yes, we're having a special tabletop RPG at the end of the month. Monkey Swag is going to be GMing. There's a game he's been doing on the side, outside of everything, and he is going to be running that here on stream. You're going to get a little sneaky peeky at another game that's been going on in the background, and some new players and stuff like that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And maybe we'll have to have Monkey Swag on Off the Pod. Maybe we'll have to have Rolana Halo on Off the Pod down the road. So stick around for all that. We're going to do a raid. If I can spell. I've had a little bit to drink. Can you tell I've had a bit to drink? Matt, can you tell that I've had a bit to drink?
Oh, since like 6:30.
Since like 6:30. Oh my God. Who are we going to raid? Where are we going to go? Everybody's gone. Everybody I was going to raid is no longer... Not everybody, but some of the people I was going to raid. You know what? This is who we're going to raid. This is who we're going to go, where we're going to see, what we're going to do. We were talking about games earlier. We were talking about Baldur's Gate. We are going to raid the one and only Pixel Nix one of my amazing mods, is playing Baldur's Gate with one of our friends, Monkey Radio. They're playing some of the new stuff. I know I said I wouldn't. I would wait until release, but I lied. That's their title. I would wait until the release, but I lied. They're playing a Bard playthrough on Baldur's Gate, so come along with me. Come along.
Let's see if
with
they're
that.
fucking a bear.
Yeah, see if they're making out with the bear. Because I don't want to swear, even though I have a couple times. So come on, we're going to go hang out with Pixel Nix and Monkey Radio, guys. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you for the hype train. Thank you for the gift subs. Thank you for the fun. And thank you, Matt, for joining me and chatting about all the things we talk about normally on a daily basis every time we hang out. These are all the shit that we talk. We didn't talk about wrestling, though. So maybe next time
We did. We did a little bit.
We did
remember?
a little bit. We did a little bit because Go Bloodline. And that's all I got
Go
to say about
Bloodline.
that. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. And thank you, Lyric Lost. Thank you, Lyric, for that new song. It's so amazing and so awesome. I can't wait to integrate it into all of the streams. Thank you so much. Have a good night, everyone. Take care. We will see you tomorrow for the video game. We'll see you Wednesday for Soul and Souls, where 3 people will do Hype Train Hot Chips. Have a great night, everyone, and take care. We will see you later down the road.